actually just barely got away too. But he stayed behind for the nobility of his party. Okay. Let's see. That is broadcasting. And let's get started for tonight. And get some music going. Alright. Welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is, Group A, Sky of Wolves, Season 3, or Saga 3, Episode 11.
Brothers of Arms.
No, this is not Brothers of Arms. You're not going to get me like
Brothers with Arms?
Maybe, but you're not all brothers, so... People with arms.
That's just poor writing.
We
well,
are...
technically, Teek's a woman, so she'd be a sister.
Blame yourself.
Who are you calling a brother?
We are playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. It is a role-playing game. Everything you're going to see tonight is live storytelling. And nothing is going to be scripted. We are playing in a homebrewed world. It is the world of Ilderon. You can learn more about it by going to www.ilderontales.com. And finally, if you're under the age of 14, please consult your parents before watching this video. It's got content that's not appropriate for you. Let's see. Before we get started tonight, let's answer a question about Ilderon, D&D, or the story in general. Does anybody have one?
Yeah, what happened last time?
I will do a recap. So then,
you're in for a treat.
Oh boy.
To start that off, Brandon, my question is did you ever figure out what the properties of my new weapon is?
No! I meant to do that earlier, but I started listening to JD.
And yeah, I gotcha.
That's fine. I'll roll it up while we're we are doing roleplay stuff tonight. But a tidbit about D&D. So
Teek's gonna be mad.
I've seen for the past year, Wizards has been playing around with the idea of implementing psionics into 5th edition. Yeah, today they finally released something comprehensive on it for some subclasses. Yeah, exactly. My quote on it that I said to myself, but I didn't want to spread negativity in the Discord, is psionics are, and this is coming from someone who played and loved a psionic. Psionics are a plague, and the only thing that saves us is a Thanos snap of a new edition, because they never include them in the player's handbook. But that said, I looked through the psionic things that they had listed. Some of the ways you can use your feats is a little wonky, but this might be the most balanced psionics I've ever been. So, I
like the rogue.
Yeah, the rogue feature of just being able to see somebody and hurt them and not be revealed and hurt them a lot is weird.
And a stun on top of it.
Yeah, it's weird because it's 12d6, and I'm pretty sure it says you expend one of your psionic states for it, which there could be an argument depending on the wording of sneak attack on if you can add your sneak attack to that 12d6 of damage, which just well, I was gonna say. Imagine just hiding behind a bunch of crates, watching a dude walk by and just be like, die! And he just starts dying, and he's like, what the hell's going on? And you're like, die again! And it's like, oh my god, I'm dying! It's just...
See... Oh, sorry, Brandon.
Go ahead.
I actually had a talk with one of my... Sorry, I had a talk with one of my Discords, actually, about that specific scenario. Because I thought it did the same thing, but if you look, it's not an attack.
Oh, it's a spell save. Yeah.
It's a save ability. It's not an attack.
Okay.
I read it, when I originally read it, I read it as when you hit, kind of like the fear effect one does. you can cause a save on it, but it doesn't. So it's literally just an effect.
Now, let's look at this, though. To be a soul knife, you are a rogue. Your main stat is dexterity. And then being a psionic introduces a second stat of intelligence. So on average, you need at least 13 intelligence. And if you're smart, you're going to put at least 1 point in there and have 14 intelligence. So it gives you a +2 to your intelligence modifier. And you can use that feat a number of times up to your intelligence modifier. It's still pretty strong as an action to be able to deal 12d6. And then 6 seconds later, as an action, to be able to deal 12d6 and just hide behind literally anything and just sit there and just keep going, die.
I completely agree. It is completely broken. And the fact that it's a 17th level ability is the only reason I can give it a buy. Because by that point, yeah, that's a lot of damage, but at the same token...
That's a lot of damage!
At the same token, you know, at 17th level, hitting an average of 36 is actually on the bit of the lower side.
Fair.
You know, because if you factor in, say, a sneak attack with advantage, you're still doing roughly the same damage.
See,
the main difference is the stun is a big thing.
I don't factor this in terms of upper level combat, because upper level combat's never balanced. What I determine these things by is how players are going to use them. And I just imagine some NPC throwing sass at somebody, and the rogue being like, "I'll be right back." He just hides behind a cart and is like, "Die."
Oh no, that is completely valid, especially because if you're hidden, they have disadvantage on the save.
Yeah, but that's the tidbit for tonight.
And with rogues getting, because this is a 17th level ability, so they're already going to have their 11th level feature, which makes it so anything they're proficient with, they can't roll below a 10. So if you have a max rogue who expertise in their stealth and uses that, they're most likely going to be hidden, because that's a baseline 26 stealth check.
Again, psionics are coming. They're going to be a thing. Hopefully they just release them only in Unearthed Arcana, so lots of DMs have the option of just being like, nah, gee.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, okay, look. I love 3.5. It is one of my favorite systems to run. But for the love of Christ, the moment anybody's like, "Oh, so that means I can use psionics, right?" I'm like, "No." And now you're out of the campaign because I hate you now. Because you dared speak that in my presence. What the fuck is wrong with you?
This is why I don't get invited to games with JD anymore. I'm kidding.
Brandon was like, "Don't worry, I'm not going to do any broken stuff with psionics." And I'm like, that's not possible.
It's psionics.
But anyways, let's see. Since we're going a little late tonight, I'm going to skip the good thing. But if everybody wants to post a good thing in Group A that happened to them today, we can read them at the end of the session.
What now?
The way I've been starting off sessions to get everybody in a good mood is we all share one good thing that happened to us today. But psionics have been introduced to D&D. There is no good thing. The world's over. No, I'm kidding. If you guys want to start like that, we can tonight. We can share a good thing to get us in a good mood, and then we'll get started. So, Shelby, hit us with something good that happened to you today. We'll go top to bottom in Discord.
I get to play D&D tonight. It's great.
Boom.
And I'm excited for it.
For me, my lady friend got me back into Warframe, and I have been having so much fun going through the story and like decking out my character again and learning all the lore. So that was really fun today. Anthony.
I have not been contaminated with the plague that is spreading through my family that my 2-year-old niece started.
Your 2-year-old niece is a psionic?
No, she's a contaminated puke machine.
But that's good. Wesley.
I muted that. I was able to stay out of the ER last night.
Woo?
Yeah.
That's very good.
Yeah, it's a long story, but still a net positive.
And Steve?
Yeah, playing D&D is an excellent break after cleaning the whole fridge.
I can get behind it. Jeff?
I haven't murdered the dog yet.
Good job.
And the electrician estimate thing is probably going to be pretty low for just, some needed little upgrades and things around the house.
Okay. And JD?
Good thing that happened to me today.
Well, this week.
Oh, this week? As in this past week? The past 7 days?
Yes.
I moved into my new apartment and have been sleeping on a new mattress, and I feel pretty alright.
Okay.
Which, honestly, feeling pretty alright for how my life has been going lately is a massive positive. It cannot be understated how insane my life has been.
As Wesley said, it's the net amount of positive. Or the absolute value. No, he said net, but it's the absolute value of positive that you've gained. So, alright. Recap for this session. What day did this session start on? And then I can go from there in my mind. The 29th. So last session started on the 29th. You guys had teleported to an island called Okatoatir Island and went to the city that resided here. It started inside of the Nazaram embassy after talking with the demons. The party conversed with one another on what to do next and where to go next. Soulmane decided to contact his clan and see if he could get any assistance from them, of which Soulmane has not talked to his clan in quite some time.
I've tried sending them messages, but apparently the Ruby Shadows suck at their job.
Well, also, I feel like either your DM didn't write down the day of those messages, or this campaign has only covered 5 days of in-game time, and it's a very long journey from any place in Ilderon Nagai up to Mentori. But yes,
It's the DM's fault.
we'll go with one of those two options. From there, where were we? Oh, Fractus has the idea of, or Fractus asked if he could go and consult with a religion that exists in this region that worships the goddess of death.
No.
Hey, Brandon, before you start,
Oh, sorry.
JT, I'm sorry.
JD.
I keep
Yes.
saying JT. I meant JD. JD, I'm sorry.
Why?
Continue
You're about
on,
to find
Brandon.
out.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Anyways, Fractus goes and consults with members of a religion called the Forgotten Song. They had been wiped out in this region, but there are still some remnants of them remaining, of people trying to piece together what the religion used to be before it was completely eradicated. From there, Fractus asked to make a deal. He wants to ensure that once they kill Elena, that her soul will stay forever locked away inside of the bridge, and seeks to make a deal with the goddess of death. The two members who are there is a groundskeeper by the name of Vadakai and an Ore Mother who was the daughter of somebody of this religion named Fan. They inform Fractus that they aren't necessarily astute members of the religion, but the way the Forgotten Song works is it's kind of an enigma unto its own, and generally you don't ask other people for guidance because the religion itself guides you wherever you need to go. Fawn begins reading verses of the Forgotten Song to Fractus, and none of them stick until the final one. She reads the verse of protection. I will look that up on my own time, and I'll tell it to you guys in a second. But she looks up the verse of protection and reads it to Fractus, and before she can even complete it, Fractus knows all of the lyrics of it and begins singing along. Fractus then learns that that's what led him to the Forgotten Song. From there, he asks to get in contact with he asks to make a deal, and they don't know exactly how to do that. And they say that people used to come together in rituals to sing at night, and that perhaps that could be the key to what Soulmane seeks. That said, the whole party comes back to the temple at night, minus Teak and minus Elson, and technically minus Tobias, because I didn't do anything with him. But maybe Tobias is there. I never actually said if he was or wasn't. Fractus sits in a pool, and the party deciphers a puzzle on the wall, and they're able to come up with the incantation for the ritual Fractus needs to go through. And I think I will read this just so you guys have that information fresh in your mind. Alright, so after going through the ritual, the Fractus asks for something to bind Elena's soul, and the string of the moonbow is converted from a bowstring into a whip. And then Fractus asks to make a deal with the goddess of death, and a servant of the gatekeeper appeared, an angel of death descending from the moonlight. Before we pick up tonight, I'm going to read two things to you guys. So the first is the verse of protection. This is the one that is burned into Fractus's mind that you guys heard him singing. It says, "Throw away your life, with it pain and grief, wade the water's waves, and board the Aramir's relief. Come you to me, and to the gatekeeper's smiling eyes. She taketh much in trade, but giveth so much more in replies. But so much more given in replies. The charge you bear is priced at a soul. With it comes eternity's roll. I am forgotten, Rayaradin is dead. My song lives on as eternity's final thread." That is the verse of protection. And then the mystery the party deciphered is the start of all songs, or the song of all songs. They're not really sure what it's called. But the incantation that started the ritual was, I sit where stone meets sky, then sky meets... where stone meets sea, and then the sea meets sky. I sing where dark reflects light, so death may reflect life. That gave Fractus the power of to incantate, to make his request onto the heavens. Alright, so it is the late night of the 29th. You guys are bathed in moonlight, and we're just going to skip 2 hours forward. Alright, it's the morning. No, I'm kidding. You guys are bathed in moonlight. You are on the island of Okatoatir, and you are... And yes, and you are in the Temple of Eucalyptium. It is a giant eucalyptus tree that has been hollowed out, that is attached to a tower, and through the center of this tree trunk, it's shining down moonlight into all of these stone basins. And in the middle of each stone basin is a stone podium. The stone basin that you are in, Vadakai filled with water that is about 3 inches deep, that you guys are kneeling in. Well, no, you guys aren't kneeling. The party is walking away. Fractus is standing in it. And this, I've got Kalinar on roll 20. Where is he? And the siege. Here we go. All right. You guys see Kalinar, the Tide Warden, well, you guys don't know who he is. You guys see an angel of death with pale wings glowing with moonlight, descending from the sky. And I believe the last thing he said was, "I've come to hear your trade, or I've come to hear your offer." This this angel is going to descend down, touching lightly on the stone pedestal next to Fractus. He has his wings out, extended. He looks down at you, a faceless void inside of his cloak, or inside of his hood, and says, "Speak, mortal."
So do we all see this, or just Fractus?
Do you all see this? I'm going to roll him a percentage dive if he cares to even cloak himself. Or pull Fractus into a demi-plane. Yeah, so looking back, you are going to see a blinding light, and everything else in here just seems dark, other than this beam of moonlight this guy is descended in. You do see this Haraf, but just looking back towards him is almost it's almost difficult to keep your eyes open.
Do I have that same problem?
You do not.
Okay. Fractus is going to politely cough and go, I've come to bargain with your goddess.
Dormammu!
And I'm a gambler. I'm a card player. I'm a cheat. I've gambled, I've cheated, just like a good honest folk. But the one thing I've learned throughout my life is that you never, ever try and cheat the gods. I plan to become an elf. I plan to marry the girl of my dreams. But I need to settle up with your god. I'm asking for a way to do that. I wish to become an elf. And to repay that, I have a lot of enemies. Powerful enemies. Enemies that would make Renalta pleased. I can pledge my sword to you to make this happen. There's also an angel that was similar to you. It did not seem that she was part of Renalta. But what do I say?
Actually, Fractus, give me a free history check. DC 13.
Where is Fractus here? There he is.
Oof.
Hold on. Oh, let me use my inspiration. I want to re-roll that. That get worse.
I mean, your mind is pretty shocked right now, so.
Wow.
Bum 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 bum.
Before I rolled that, I knew that was going to happen. I'm like, I'm going to get a 1. I know I'm going to get a 1 here.
All right.
Okay. You interrupted my flow. Now where was I? I was talking about there's another angel that attacked us under the sea. Somebody that didn't seem like he followed Renalta like he should. I can be an instrument to bring him down, to bring him back.
He is going to... He's going to step down off of the pedestal. His feet not breaking the water's surface at all as he steps onto them. Or steps into the pool. And he's going to walk around Fractus, standing several heads taller than him. He's going to save. There was one of our 7, pulled from the Bridgekeeper's service, destroyed and corrupted. Several Eternity Guards lost their souls in the process of trying to ensure that this one did not breach this side of the bridge. And you claim to have seen the Caller of Queens.
Not only seen, we fought briefly. We tried to avoid it because we didn't know what entity he was, and he did look powerful. We mainly were after our quarry. But he is with Elena, and she is our prey. Her soul will be yours.
And for this task and for this hunt, as a reward, all you wish is a new vessel for your soul to occupy?
I wish to be an elf and live forever. It's a big ask for Renalta. One I don't make lightly.
He is gonna roll his face is unreadable to you.
Really? Even with my insight?
Well, it's more so because he doesn't have a face.
Fair enough.
You probably should have led with that. His face, which he doesn't have, is unreadable.
After a second, he's going to say, there is no such thing as eternal life. There is no such thing as eternity.
Sorry, bro.
This world is but a fraying thread. That said, for the remainder of your days, your reward shall be given as you ask.
I misspoke. I wish to be an elf. Whatever mortality they hold, I wish to have the same. They live very, very, very long lives. And in my human state, it seems like they live forever. I trust you as a god of death to know your business. I just wish to have the same so that I may live my life with the woman I love.
He is going to hold out. He's going to hold out his hand, gesturing for your hand, and with his other hand, he summons his scythe. It glows with white moonlight before even the staff also glows. The whole scythe reforming into a silvered longsword.
If he holds out his hand for me to take, I will take it, and then I will close my eyes and hope he doesn't decapitate me.
All right. He stabs the blade straight through your hand, and with that, he is going to say, "The deal, or the trade, has been sealed. Should you find your
I'm
hunt successful, your enemies vanquished, and the Caller of Queens return to the bridge, you shall have your vessel. He pulls out the sword. Fractus, by the way...
I'm assuming that hurt like...
Yeah, it
would
does.
Normally.
It's 5 plus 4d8. Fractus is going to take 5 points of piercing damage and 27 points of frost damage as the a total of 27 damage. I gave it to you split up for resistances.
I know. So
yeah, as he pulls the sword out of your hand,
I'm gonna curse and go, son of the.
You are, the wound is going to be glowing, and it's gonna mend itself. Like the pain and the blood and everything is still there, but it closes. And on your hand is a seal of a crescent moon, and the crescent of it turning into a wing.
Teak steps forward to.
Teak's not here. Teak's not here. Fractus refused to bring her.
And he also refused to tell you what he was doing. So.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Fine. Okay.
He is going to say, a soul killed by your hand will be marked. I will find it when it comes to the bridge.
Oh no.
He is going to turn his longsword back into a scythe, stomp the end of it against the pole, and say, "I have spoken!" And flies. No, I'm kidding. But he is going to stomp it and then begin ascending. As everybody's looking up at him, by the time you're looking straight up at the moon, it becomes indistinguishable of if he's really there or not between the moonlight of his wings and the moon, and how it is casting glares at you, and as you squint, you can no longer see him. Fractus, you feel cold.
Ogan?
Yeah.
What in the bridge just happened?
Well, hey Brandon, we could hear him talking, right? We
Yes,
hear,
you can.
Fractus at least. What about the other guy?
Yes, he was speaking.
Oh, he was cutting a deal. He wants to be with his elf, and he trading in some shit we were going to do anyways. And and he probably forgot to mention that he was really willing to do some crazy stuff for it. I mean, we could have just killed him a bunch of times. I'll keep resurrecting him until he gets an elf. But he wants to do it this way, which is fine.
Did I overhear him?
If Ogan's not being stealthy, yeah. No, you hear Fractus. Fractus has like 23 passive perception. So.
Yeah. So Fractus is going to pseudo interrupt and say, "There's no guarantee that if I was killed and resurrected that I'd be an elf, and there's no guarantee that Renalta wouldn't take me there. You can't cheat the gods. It had to be done this way."
That's not.
God damn! Did it have to hurt?
Oh, buck up! He gives him a big slap on his back. That's a good ritual scar.
Yeah, try hiding that from Teak.
Wear a glove.
A glove. Depends if you guys rat us out.
Well, there's going to have to be something, because you're going to have to say, "No, wait, I have to finish him."
Well.
How much money you got on you, Fractus?
Well, the object is to get the Angel of Death back to him. I figure we'll be doing enough killing to complete whatever Toll is. Besides, if I do live this long as an elf, I got plenty to keep me busy. We still have lots of people to attack. After this episode is all done, we got demons and worshippers aplenty.
Oh yeah.
Hey, Shelby. Roll me a d6, and Soulmane, give me a d4.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What the smeg are you guys doing?
I don't want to
It's
know.
Fine.
Uh-huh.
Hold on, I did that wrong.
No, you can roll the d6.
No, I did just D6, and it's just going to give me the max.
No, that's right.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
/ roll D6?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then take the first one then, because I don't want a 1. I want a 6.
Well, we don't know if high is good or bad.
That's
True.
true.
But it's the first one, and what can I say? Besides, you're looking at somebody who rolled a nat 1 on his history check after he burned inspiration.
All right, but you guys can continue role-playing as you're walking through the streets of Okatoatir.
Boy, is T gonna be mad when he finds out.
Yeah.
Finds out.
That sounds like pretty much you maybe getting kicked out of the Unrepentant or something. I don't know anything about your rules, but
Well,
if I was,
she won't.
possessing of the appropriate stick up the butt to be able to do religiosity at all, I would be kicking you out.
Brandon,
Yes.
real quick. With all my shit that was floating in the water after the bow was transformed, the string was transformed,
Mm-hmm.
was I able to get my 0 value coin back?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
You're able to get all of your stuff back.
I'm figuring with Fractus's senses, he can find all your shit. As long as there's enough light, like moonlight and stuff, to see.
Well, Ogun can just produce flame, and then there's plenty of light. So,
Well, I can produce light. It's more of, I didn't know if the coin kind of made it look like... if it looked like it was so tattered that it might have blended in or something. I just want to make sure.
okay.
Speaking of which, someone's going to pull out the coin, look at it, and then look at Fractus. You know, when I screw around with gods, I get this. You get stabbed in the hand.
Well, what can I say? I lived a charmed life. And with that, he just chuckles. And then grimaces as he looks down at his hand and goes, "God, it's fading, but damn, that's weird."
I might have a salve for that, but
So,
you should get
Brandon,
used to it.
Yes.
so it's healing up, I'm assuming, but what does it look like other than a big stab wound? Is there like a mark or?
Yes. They're in almost like a tattoo of iridescent. I'm gonna go with iridescent. Fluorescent. There we go. Almost like a tattoo of fluorescent ink. If you look under the map on the right, it is a crescent. However, the crescent moon turns into a wing, like that. That's the center stab wound has manifested that mark.
I'm sorry, I need to look at that. I got people up. Okay. All right.
Okay. Cool. You see it?
I'm going to. I'm gonna ask. Do you see the mark, Soulmane?
Soulmane does see it when he looks at your hand.
Practice
I'm
is
gonna-
gonna. Practice
Hold
is
on.
gonna go.
Hold on. Evil idea just popped in head.
Uh-oh.
Soulmane kind of makes it look like he's trying to see it. Then he's going to slap it. Go, you mean this one?
Ah! Practice snatches his hand back and goes, "You're getting me back for that little boy king thing, aren't you?"
Never try to make a man sleep with his almost stepmother. It's weird.
An evil laugh happened, and Practice goes, "Yeah, Ogun, if you do have a salve, I would definitely be happy with one."
Oh, I'm sure you would, but you do know that if you try to alleviate the sting of a god's deal, that it can invalidate the deal, right?
Son of a... Right. And all you see is Practice sticks his hand in his coat pocket.
Hey, Ogun.
Yeah,
Give me a deception check.
That's a pretty good one, actually.
Practice isn't going to... he's not even gonna... Even if he thinks he's lying, he's not going to care.
Question it.
That's
Yeah, he's
superstition.
just like... It's like he put the little, bug of if he's right, son of a biscuit.
Well, I think we're done here, gentlemen. Now, I'm gonna let you two take lead, so when Teak starts swinging her mace around, I can be in the back.
Don't remind me. She's going to hate me. This had to be done. Well, this, and he holds up his hand, didn't have to be done, but the other did. I just hope she'll understand.
Whatever you say, elf boy.
Practice just smiles and says, "Not yet. I gotta survive and kill that sucker."
You'll be lucky to survive tonight with Teak.
One thing at a time, man. One thing at a time. Play the hand you're dealt, man. Play the hand you're dealt. And we're gonna head back to Teak and Elson
And Tobias.
and Tobias.
Who we completely forgot about, sorry. I just realized that.
Yes, after... Ooh, wait, I have an inn inside of this city.
Is it a completely average inn?
No, but it might as well be. Let's see. The Wizard's Mug. That was the one that I told you guys were here. Okay, you guys are going to... the inn that Teak and Elson and Tobias found for you to stay in is a place called the Wizard's Mug inside of the dock ward. It is... Wait a second, I have a map of this place. Why am I thinking of a map? Okay, I'll find this later.
Hey,
anyways,
Brandon.
yes.
Quick question for
Hit
you.
me.
Is the whip a attunement slot?
It does require attunement.
I'm going to take off my ring of protection and I'm going to tune the whip. Or I'm going to start attuning the whip to me.
Okay.
Making him roll it up faster than he wanted to.
Nope, I'm rolling it. I've been rolling it up as you guys have been talking. I just
You don't have to roll it up now. I'm just telling you I'm attuning myself to it.
all right.
And I'm going to take the ring of protection and go, Sindri.
Yeah.
I'm gonna flick the ring to him and say, I know you're the newest member on there, but you might be able to use this. It's really helped me protect myself.
Thank you. He'll try to catch it.
I didn't flick it to where you couldn't catch it. Are you that not dexterous that you wouldn't
No,
be able
I'm not.
to catch
I'm not
it?
going to make a Sindri roll for it. He's able to catch it.
Yeah, I got two in my dex bonus. Not bad. Is it +1 or what?
Yeah, it's +1 to your AC and +1 to your save. On
Every
all saves.
save.
And is it possible to wear more than one of those?
No, if you have a ring of protection already instead of a cloak protection, then no, you can only have one.
Okay, I'll just be changing up my magic items next time. When I sleep.
Oh, do you already have 3 attunement slots? I didn't know if you did or not.
What I mean is I can change which magic items I have created or active.
Oh,
So-
I got you. It's your thing. I get you.
Yep.
If you don't want it, that's fine. I figured you. Could...
Oh, I do. I'm going to adjust and be able to use something else linked to that. So perfect.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, the whole party is going to be together inside of the wizard's mug. If it's not terribly important, so I'm not going to spend a lot of detail on this place. I just have a short one sentence long thing to remind me that this place exists, so I'm just going to read that to you guys. In a large elven-styled inn, brightly lit by magical candles and crystal chandeliers. And it is in the dock ward. If you guys want me to describe it more in depth, I can, but you guys can have like a spot in the hearth room, like near a fire. Well, yeah, near a fire. Underneath these candles, talking and sharing amongst each other.
Are there any other interesting individuals?
Okay, I will go deeper into this, and let's see. Medgulbar is back here. You guys don't remember who that is. When you were looking for the Forgotten Song, he was the person who I told you pointed you in the right direction. It looks like an elven aristocrat. There is... There's a human and a dwarf talking at a table across on the other side of the inn. They have several pieces of jewelry on the table, and they are pushing them across the table, like one to one side and then one to the other, sorting from this pile and talking back and forth with them. Other than that, this place isn't really that occupied.
Well, if Sindri catches his eye, he'll nod hello to the elf lord guy.
Okay. He's got a lizard companion on his shoulder as he is reading a book. He's just gonna look up at you, put up two fingers, and kind of like wave with his fingers and then nod his head. He goes back to reading. But yes, everybody is together.
Nice find, Teak.
Teak nods.
So, what did you all get up to?
Well, we found what I was looking for.
Starts taking 3 steps back.
I owe you an apology, Teak.
Sindri leaves to the doorway.
Teak stands up and starts to take a step for every step that Fractus takes. And says, "Why?"
I didn't back up. They all backed up.
They backed up. She'll look around at the rest of the group. Look towards Fractus.
Why is that?
You're going to be mad. Can we have a seat?
Certainly.
And I'm gonna sit down.
Okay. Did Fractus manage to cover up his hand at all?
He didn't. He didn't bother.
She's gonna look down at his glowing hand and say,
"So that's new,"
and point at it.
Yeah, that's on me. And then he brings.
I can see that.
And then he brings out the whip and he sets it down and he goes, "I made a choice. One I know that you would have been hard to fight. But our mantra is whatever it takes.
That is true.
I made a deal with the Death Goddess. I figure if we're consorting with demons, the Death God is not too far out of the way."
I mean, strictly speaking, Death God is slightly above a demon. But also,
this weapon, it found us a way to keep Elena gone without having to resort to winking her out of existence.
okay. Honestly, all of this sounds fairly good, except for the part about making a pact with the Death God, but, I mean, you're an adult who can make your own decisions. And this seems like it was a decision made to benefit the rest of the group.
Practice is going to kind of turn his head because he's a little bit ashamed. It's like, I made this choice for this, and he points to the web, because I knew I didn't want you to make it. You couldn't have made it.
Well, we can't say for certain whether or not I would have made that deal, because at present, I wasn't given the chance to make that deal. But what are the consequences? What if you fail to deliver your end of the bargain?
Oh, I'm sure I will be not in a good place. Let's just say that come my life's end.
Well, I guess we just have to aspire to hold up our end of the bargain then. Does it sound... Doesn't sound like that will be too difficult.
I've been delaying this, but I also made a deal to become an elf with the Death God. And with that, I just kind of hang my head.
Gonna have to ask why, Fractus.
You know why.
Yeah, I did want to hear you say it, though. Fractus, you do realize it's okay to want things, right?
Well, not really. Growing up, You had to work. The Lux Anvil didn't give you anything. You took. You worked.
And you survived. You know, I grew up on the streets. I'm used to, or it took me a long time to unlearn a lot of the habits that I learned. You know, attempting to steal my daily bread kind of thing. Mind you, I was never good at it. That's why I ended up in the church. But it's... once you've got your basic survival needs met, it's okay to want for things. And it's okay to undertake what you need to do in order to arrange those things for yourself, provided that you're not harming anyone else.
Well, I made sure that this was on me.
If anything, it sounds like you made a deal that kept me from having to put myself in the situation that you're in now. And that was very selfless of you. Well, mostly selfless of you.
I'm gonna call myself Saint Practice if that's what you think.
No more than I could call myself Saint Teak.
But we have a good crew.
We do. I think we've got good odds of success here. And, well, if we don't, then it's a moot point worrying that we don't. But
well, now we have some...
we've got something.
Power, at least.
Yes, indeed. Were you really afraid that I was going to be that upset with you?
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like I let you down in a way. I think they were more afraid, to be honest with you.
Hogan's still standing right behind him, arms crossed, smiling, trying not to laugh too much.
Did it ever cross your mind that they might be just messing with you?
Oh, it's very, very possible, but...
Hogan's smile gets a lot bigger.
But with these types of things, you err on the side of caution, you play the straight, you don't raise the bet.
Well, I don't think the bet can get any higher than making a deal with the Death God.
How about making a deal with a demon?
We've done that twice.
Several demons. And Bragg just says that with a smile.
Well, you know, something, you burn a lot of bridges to get to your destination.
Is Ellison sitting with us or no?
Ellison is with you, but I mean, he's just going to be more so amused by these candles overhead and trying to just zone out what he's hearing.
Oh, okay. If he was a pseudo listening, I would have just smiled and went, "Whatever it takes, Ellison. Whatever it takes."
Indeed, whatever it takes. We are, after all, the unrepentant. We do what must be done because it must be done.
Sindri's going to find a seat and work on the cracked drift globe.
What have you guys been up to? You and Tobias.
Pete glances over to Tobias.
Well, I found us this inn to stay in, and that's about it.
Started by unmuting myself for once. I've been looking over my spell selection mostly, working on this new voice. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm quite meta tonight. But this, it's quite fortunate I didn't continue with you. The Death Goddess and I don't exactly have a good repertoire, so I'm glad everything turned out for you, and I was not present at all. So, congratulations.
Rapport. The word you're looking for is rapport.
I knew what I was saying. I just stole.
Fair enough. Oh, by the way, practice. According to, a professor starts with a K, I think. Reincarnation, you have a 1 in 5 chance of becoming an elf.
But you also have a big chance of Renalta saying, "You're staying with me."
Well, I don't know about that because
I'm a pretty good-looking card player. There is no way that Renalta wouldn't want to keep me, man.
the good news is it seems to be the soul's choice as to whether or not
We're
it comes
humble
back.
too, huh?
And actually, there's a couple other long-lived races that occasionally pop up on reincarnations. So I think your odds almost approach 50-50.
Well, according to Delilah, I need to be eternal.
Yeah. Depends on what she calls eternal.
You may know more than me, Hogan.
I don't study humanity or, any other sentient race. If they know how to write, I don't study them. Tool use, though, is very debatable sometimes.
You need to start studying Soulmane then.
No. Tool use is definitely something Soulmane's adept at. I mean, I've seen him use a stick to great effect.
And I use you guys as much as I want.
Yeah, but the trick is that we just let you think you're using other people. Pat, pat, pat.
I meant your moral tools.
Do what?
Don't worry about it, Hogan. He's just being
A smartass.
fidgety.
Fidgety smartass, something like that.
Elson.
By the way, I was pulling your leg about the salve thing. Is it still hurt?
I'm fine.
Okay.
I
Renaldo
let's-
probably give you cool points for
let's
not chickening out on that one.
let's not put it in danger. I didn't want to go through this for nothing.
Okay. Well, I agree that would stink. So
Practice is going to turn back to Tobias and say, Tobias, I owe you an apology. I am purposely misled you and Teak. Because I knew how you two would work at a temple of a death god. I'm sorry for the lie I told you.
All I have to say about that is I know a thing or two about the pursuit of immortality.
You don't say.
Yes, it's crazy how that works out, isn't it? And while I congratulate you on finding someone you wish to spend eternity with, I would caution that eternity, or even 1,000 years, is a long time. While it feels like it's worth it now, 100 years, 200 years, people change. You will change. Everyone, even elves change. Albeit slowly.
Well, at least I'll have a good friend there with
Oh.
me that can tell me when I'm going wrong, right, Tobias?
I prefer to sit back and watch the fireworks, but yes, I
Tobias.
think. Oh yes.
Give me a free history check. DC 12.
Yes, I'll do that. Thank you. What is? I'm sorry. What did you say? What am I rolling?
A history check.
History. I I can do that.
Out of character, I love your new accent, man. It's awesome.
Thank you. I've been working on it all of 5 minutes. That's 20.
You start recalling things about Elven culture, but you haven't studied it in a couple dozen years. So it's not
No, that's a
fresh.
20.
Oh, that's a 20? Okay, cool.
Yes.
I didn't see the bonus. That was my bad.
I didn't. Damn it.
Sorry. Tobias, you are going to remember, as you're talking about elves changing, elves as creatures heavily influenced by, emotions and the Fae, they age according to how they feel. Some elves that are 200 years old can look like a old man, and some elves that are 3,000 years old can look like they're in their early 30s. One thing in the very, because Tobias is pretty old. In the very, very, very few situations that Tobias has heard of trans Doraiism, of like another race becoming a Dorai, they usually fade out and die in about 700 years from old age, simply because they're not raised with the mindset to understand what eternity means. In that they feel old once they hit 700, 800 years old, and because they feel old, their body becomes old.
Okay. In that case, I'll take a step back and one thing about Elven. What's the name for them in this?
Dorai.
For the one thing about the Dorai is their lifespan is very closely tied with their mental state. An elf who has endured much heartbreak, won't live but a fraction of the time that his or her peers might. So you basically forget everything I just said. Your influence on your loved one's life does make a very marked difference in how long you two will be together. It is, unfortunately, that might be intimidating, but the short time I've known you, I feel like you would add quite some time into this person's life, so I congratulate you on your choice. I'm simply a stuffy scholar. I'm not going to pretend to decide what the right choice is for you. I trust you enough to know that you will make a decision that will benefit our mutual goals. So I wish you to the finest that your new long lifespans have to offer.
As Tobias says that, Elson is going to stand up and say, "Oh, speaking of goals, everybody watch this." He places the helmet on his head. Stretches his hands. He stops.
Fractus goes, "Don't you do it yet? There's only so many charges. We gotta go places."
He's going to say, "No, I was going to teleport 10 feet that way. Watch."
No. No. Fractus is gonna punch him in the face.
Before you do, he's gonna recoil back, taking off the helmet, of just hey. He takes off the helmet. I feel it. It works. At least I think.
Good.
It'll work. Just relax. You get maybe 3 shots a day, and it recharges slowly, and we're leaning on this thing a lot. So you need to calm down, put the hat on the table, and just stop for a little bit.
What What's this again? He's
Um,
wearing?
They gave him the helm of teleportation,
Oh, what the fuck?
so he could teleport the party someplace
Temporarily.
that he's been.
Oh.
He doesn't know teleportation magic. He's a druid, he knows magic. But he doesn't know teleportation magic.
Well then.
He's gonna shake his hand and say, this arcane stuff, it's different.
Yeah.
There's no
It is.
natural ebb to it.
Yep. It's like getting a fancy crossbow. You pull the trigger, it does the thing, but some of that in-between stuff gets a little weird.
Fractus is gonna stare at Ogun and went, "You just pull the lever to reload it. What do you mean it gets a little weird?"
No. Not that kind. The fancy ones. The ones that have like double triggers and winches and stuff.
Just and Fractus is gonna go, "Okay, whatever."
Okay, Boomer.
Elson's gonna look at Fractus and then Ogun and say, that's Lil Nagian complications.
It's not a Lil Nagian, it's just arcane, that's all. The main thing is, this is imagine it's a spell that you just barely learned and you don't get a whole lot of shots before you gotta let it, you gotta get some rest. So don't
with
use
that-
it frivolously.
As a DM, I'm pretty sure there are 2 charges inside the helmet.
There's 3. 3 max, anyway.
Yeah, there are 3
So-
max, but you guys used one coming here. Because I don't
Yeah,
think
I
it was
don't think
Tobias
it's-
who teleported you here, so...
I don't think it's been a.
It has not recharged yet. There's still...
Yeah,
I'm
I
pretty sure there's
Yeah.
just 2 left in it.
Soulmane used it, and I don't think we've had a dawn yet, which is when it recharges.
Yeah, so... I mean, he would be aware of how many charges are in it, which is why, he'd be like, look what I can do. But,
Yeah,
yeah.
the problem is we might need to move again. So
Okay. Anyways, otherwise, does the party want to do anything else tonight before we go to the next day?
Am I succeeding at all with the globe?
The globe. What were you doing with the globe? I'm sorry, I phased out.
I had a cracked drift globe that I had for a while. And I wanted to
Yeah, you were
fix
trying
that up.
to mend it. Yeah, you're able to put work in towards mending it. Actually, just roll me a Arcana check as you're looking over this thing. Yeah, there is a shard of tooth that seems to be stuck inside of this thing that's stopping it from mending itself. You actually don't have to do anything magical tinkering with this. You just have to carefully remove the tooth.
Okay.
And pull it out, and then as soon as you do, the globe, the fragment of tooth, the globe is actually going to start mending itself.
I will do so.
Practice is gonna go, "I want to keep that."
You want a piece of tooth?
Yeah, it'll remind me of
Alward?
Alward. I was like Wiz, and I'm like, wait, no, that's not his name.
Yeah. And
That's the player.
I think it came from a Grell or a Grek. It's a cave worm that attacks. I always get the two confused. One's
You're
a cave
wel-
bird and one's a beaked brain.
You're welcome to it. Give him a piece of tooth.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the piece of tooth just to remind me of Alward.
Okay. And I will get you exactly what it is a tooth of for your
I don't
trophy.
care.
It is a tooth of a Grek.
As soon as the globe repairs itself.
I'm sorry.
I'll,
It's a piece of a beak of a Grek.
okay.
I was about to say, those things don't have teeth.
Yeah. Yeah, I just
Here, I bought
remember
you a
it.
bag of chicken teeth.
I just remembered it bit the drift globe and tried to eat it. All right.
Piece of Grick.
So I'll turn it off and put it away.
All right. Do you guys want to do anything else important tonight?
Teak, have we paid for the rooms? We're leaving tonight, right?
I have not yet paid for the rooms. I just came here because, well,
Right.
I was told to find a place to drink.
Right. Well,
Yeah. Out there with you?
I'm ready whenever everybody else is ready.
BRB.
Okay. Elson is going to look around and say, "Are we going to Mentori tonight?"
Why wait?
I think Anthony is busy, and I would ask Anthony if he's ready, since it's his. Since he wanted to get that done.
Well, you could enjoy.
Sorry, I'm back.
Okay.
Anthony, practice is going to ask you, are you ready to go right now to see your leader? And was I privy to the dad stuff or no?
I don't think I've kept it too hard of a secret that he's basically my father.
Well, right, but do I know that your father's in the same place?
Technically, I don't know if my father's in the same place.
Yeah, you guys don't know where Soulmane's father is. You do have insight that Soulmane's father was recruiting Shadow Knights.
Okay, so yeah, I would just say, are you ready to go see your guild leaders? This was your leg of the.
If you guys don't mind. This is gonna be a long day.
Well, we can sleep tonight and go tomorrow morning. And trust me, after the day and night I've had, and I'm stare at the wound.
I mean, it might be better if we go in the morning. Is there any kind of major time difference between there and here?
No, it's on the equator. Or rather, it's not on the equator. It's a little bit off the equator, but you guys would be in the same time. Wait. Actually, no. I'm sorry. Hold on. The sun moves from northwest to southeast across the world, so it is generally later. Temperature-wise, it's the same, but it is generally later. It's later there than it is here. So if you were to teleport there, it would be closer towards the morning of the next day.
Everyone's probably already asleep there anyway, so...
Yeah, this map's more accurate.
It's kind of fun waking people up. You go in and you jump on their beds and they just make all these funny faces.
Yeah, there's a lot more screaming when I do it, though.
Sendry,
true.
can I
Yes,
ask you a question?
sure.
Do you know what I do for a profession?
You're an assassin, right?
Yes, I am. Now, sneaking up and waking up a whole clan of people like me.
I would need to be really ready to be retaliated against.
Best not to do it.
Yeah. Good point.
Well, one simple spell could fix that problem.
Yeah, as long as I'm not the one who fell down, I could bring you right back.
Yeah,
Oh,
stuff
sorry.
like that feels more like a flyby pooping is in order, but...
Also, if you announce that you're an assassin, does that make you a good assassin or a bad assassin?
I'd say it'd probably make you a pretty poor assassin, but considering that we're his employer, I think it's kind of a moot point.
It's a diversion.
Ogun, is it really true that I can't do anything to fix his hand?
Fix his hand?
We could cut it off.
Depends on how much fixing you're talking about. So I was talking about giving him just a little something for the pain. But there is probably a certain degree of fixing that would at least annoy the gods, if not actually, invalidate the deal.
Leave my hand alone.
I mean, I've got a paraffin of wound closure right now. I could use
the wound's closed.
Ointments, all kinds of things I could do.
We could just chop it off.
Yeah.
That
I don't know
might
if that'll
invalidate the deal.
I don't know if that'll save him.
Oh, he'll be fine, probably. We're good at killing stuff. That's all we got to do to make sure the deal goes through.
There's something unsettling about the phrase, he'll be fine, probably.
Well, there is a distinct chance that, if things go terribly wrong or he ends up dead first, that it's not going to work out for him. It's like you tell the death god, I'm going to kill somebody for you. And they go, okay. And then, if you don't do it and you end up dead first, how much do they like you? I don't know.
Well,
do they send you back at that point to finish the job? Do they... What? Can I reincarnate him before the death god decides that he's been a bad investment and they're going to take it away? I don't know.
Well, they're gods. If they're surprised, then that's kind of their fault.
I mean, to be fair, he literally got a facelift in lava, so... I'm sure he'll be fine.
Yeah, I remember that also.
A lot of weird stuff happened before you joined us, Sindri.
Let's not talk so casually about that time that I almost took a bath. A permanent bath.
Yeah, I was right there with you. It was not a good thing.
Oh, was it acid?
No, a lot hotter.
Oh.
Let's just say that I'm very, very lucky that that shattered our somewhat fire retardant.
I'm just glad that dude dropped me because he's an idiot.
Yeah, let's get some sleep and we'll head out in the morning.
Alright.
Speaking of which, wonder how Scari's doing.
Okay, Teak will use it. Teak.
Oh, probably getting herself in trouble again, I would imagine.
Didn't you invite her to the university?
Kind of. There was a lot of, but I've got all this other stuff I want to do first, and I think that was mostly an excuse, but whatever.
More important.
If she's there, we'll have to look her up.
So, does the party sleep here, or do you teleport someplace else to sleep?
Here sounds good.
Okay. I'm not actually going to bother looking at the quality of this inn. I'm just going to roll a die. It is 3 gold. 3 gold a night for a room. Rooms can fit 2 people here.
I got it.
Okay.
I wanna make sure we're all comfortable. How many rooms do they have?
How many rooms do they have? You know what? I'll let you tell me that. Roll me 2d10. This
Double one.
This
Double
is a
one.
bunkhouse for crewmen and deckhands coming in.
What about the staff here?
I will take all 3 of those rooms.
All right, you can pay 9 gold, and let's see, double up to the room. There's what, 7 of you, so one person will have to sleep on the floor.
That's Ellison.
I don't sleep.
Well,
Oh,
Cindy's
yeah.
pretty small.
Yeah, you long rest, but you don't sleep, so that's fair. Okay, so
Tobias practice is like, are you sure, Tobias? I mean, Ellison should be on the floor. We saved his ass.
No, quite fine. I have literally nothing else to do.
Shelby,
So I'll keep watch.
I need to know something. Do you attune to the whip at the start of your long rest or at the end of it?
Oh, I was starting immediately when we were talking, so as soon as you allow me to attune to it, I want to be attuned to it.
Uh-oh. You're about to get a
All right.
visitor.
You're gonna get a visitor. No. So Fractus. Let's divvy up rooms, and for me, all that's important is who's with Fractus. Who would Fractus take into his room?
Soulman would probably be
Okay.
with me.
I was afraid of that.
And who else?
Well, if there's only 2 per room.
Elson. Where are you guys putting Elson?
With Teak.
With Teak? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, then the rest of the people don't. Not that you guys don't matter. You don't matter for the necessary part of my description.
I wanted to ask about
Yes.
the staff of the hotel.
The staff. Oh, it is a bunkhouse.
Practice is going to work it, by the way. Practice is going to work it that instead of Elson is going to go with Tobias and Sindri in the last room, and Fractus is going to have Ogun and Teak in the same room.
Ah,
Okay. Yeah, the rest of the party is free to contest Fractus's machinations, but again, I have all the information I need. That said, Sindri was asking about the staff of the bunkhouse. What did you need to know? Again, I don't have this place in great detail. But we can make
I guess he's probably just curious if there are any like cute fae there working there.
cute fae that are working there. You know what? I will roll you a percentage die. Not that you notice. Okay. Fractus.
Hold on, I'm not done with machinations. I'm going to write a note and say it's okay to want things, and in a little card or whatever. And I want to buy from the elf proprietor. I want to buy what would be known as like the presidential suite with the chocolate and the chocolate fondue type stuff. You know, it's to really spice up the room. So the flowers or whatever. How much will that cost me?
Does he have it on hand? Yes. And how much is he willing to charge you for this?
Practice, I like you and all, but your elf obsession is getting out of control.
You know, he's willing to extort lovebirds. So he's for a little bit of a few delicate snacks and treats and some flowers. Practice feels like this should be a couple copper, but he says 3 gold.
Deal.
All right. He's going to do it up inside of Teak and Ogun's room.
And Practice is going to say, make sure Teak gets this. And it's the card that says it's okay to want things.
And
then he's going to feel really good about himself, whether or
That was
not
worth
it's true.
every
or
gold
not.
he just spent.
All right. So again, back to the matter at hand. Practice. As you are sitting on your bed, meditating on this whip, attuning to it, you are going to feel an alignment with it and a desire to hunt those that you seek. And I wouldn't say a burning desire, but kind of like a radiating desire to do so. As you do, you're going to open your eyes because you feel the whip twisting around your hand. And it gets a lot longer than you anticipated as it snakes its way around your arm, around your chest, and the light of the string eventually at some point is covering about every other 3 inches of your body as it wraps around your legs, or each of your legs, your other arm, your chest, and it continues snaking around, moving around your neck. And
something I've seen enough hentai.
At which
just
point,
call them Venom, maybe.
At which point you feel yourself choking as the radiant energy of this whip is burning into your skin. You cannot scream, but you do take 60 points of psychic damage.
Did you say 60?
Yes.
I'm incapacitated.
All right. At which point, Soulmane, watching
incredible,
sees Fractus go down. You can roll death saving throws, Fractus, if you want. Soulmane is also entitled to make a medicine check.
Fuck the medicine check. Healing hands.
All right. How much do you use? Soulmane wakes up and sees a spasm.
It's a single burst of 14 in health.
All right. Fractus, you are brought back from the brink. The whip is not around you at all. It never left your lap. Looking down on it, you are attuned to it. I posted the what it does inside of your group.
Character sheet.
Or inside of your group on Discord. With it,
that cheeky god.
With it in your hand, you feel the desire to go after those who you seek, and can't even comprehend you can't remember the arguments you were making on why wait through the night. I mean, you've got a weapon to slay and bind souls, so.
Dimensional door, not bad.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Owie.
Practice.
Where is she?
Practice. Talk to me.
Where is she?
So I'm guessing we're all within 300 feet of him.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Practice. You stay here, and
No, I gotta find her.
I will knock you out again.
I'm actually gonna try and get up.
Can't practice at 14 HP.
You did tell me that I have an overwhelming desire. Is it not that overwhelming, or
it is overwhelming in the sense that you you can't benefit from a short or long rest. Like if you try and sleep, or you try and just like clear your mind, all that's on it is like, you know, like that nagging feeling of just like, why am I sitting here when I could be going after her, you know? It's that pressing matter that's on your mind.
that's good.
Yeah. It doesn't overwhelm you to the sense of you can't control yourself.
Practice. Stay here.
I guess.
And I'm booking it to Teek's room.
That,
see how far along
you know
you
what?
can open.
I wouldn't make like any preemptive like roleplay, but because of all of the Fractus machinations, what's going on in Teek and Ogin's room? As you guys are getting ready to go to bed, like you are going to go in, there are seed lilies, there's lavender, there's rose petals. Like the roses probably would be a little bit wilted coming all the way out here. Oh no, you can grow roses in tropical climates. There's rose petals, and there's there's pastries in a basket on the bed, and there is a garland hung around the room, and there is a note on the table on a on some nice. I forgot what the pulpy paper stuff is. But some nice cardstock.
Parchment, maybe?
Yeah.
Papyrus?
Yeah, that is folded, and there's a note that says, it's okay to want. Sign Fractus. Like, I think it was signed. As you guys walk in here.
It's okay to want things.
Actually, is that a, folded in half and it says Teak on the outside, or is it open with the contents?
It did have Teak on the top, but I think it's like a card, so it's like...
Okay.
You
so,
can read.
Hogan looks at this whole spread, including the note that just says Teak on it from his perspective without picking it up, and says, wow, I think Fractus is still feeling guilty about something.
Teak nods, walks over, picks up the note, and reads it. She says... She hesitates for a moment and turns to Ogun. She's got her helmet off. What do you plan to do after all of this?
Study sea creatures, probably. I've got a lot of writing to do. That whole brief trip under the sea showed me that there's depths upon depths of creatures that we know nothing about down there.
And you'll probably be doing this to some degree alone, right?
I don't know. I could take a class with me. I could take people with that bubble thing, but you can't see anything with the bubbles, so I'm not sure. I still have to figure out the details. I know I can go down there for a few hours at a time, as an elemental or as one of the fish once I learn enough about them, or whatever other critters are down there. But I imagine with enough magic support, then I should be able to take a whole class, or at least an assistant.
But you would welcome company?
Yeah. You ever try to wrangle a class by yourself on a field trip? It's not fun. Let me tell you. It's not like people from Red Axe where they already know how to handle themselves out in the wild or anything like that.
Right.
5 minutes out, you're wandering out there, and they're like, "Where's the toilet? I don't have any toilet paper. Nah. I need a beer.
Right.
Why am I cold?" Let's see, you're knee deep in snow, stupid. I don't know. Is there an inn nearby? No. What about now? Definitely not. You know how it is.
Right. Reminds me of the acolytes back at the temples.
Oh, I'm sure. Young and inexperienced are kind of all the same about that kind of stuff, but, I don't know if your acolytes start out as city people and then get out in the wilds, or if it's more of a wild people and they end up in a church. I'm sure that's kind of similar.
For the most part, they most of them are city folk. Most of them are used to wielding a ceremonial weapon, but haven't really got much use for it once they're actually in a sparring pit.
Oh, that sounds like a, wow, this sword is really heavy. Is this really sharp? Oh my god, it really is! Ah!
Almost verbatim.
Yeah, been there too. Of course, I mean, all my people, we grew up with sharp implements from toddler size.
Right.
I mean, you know, you get a few cuts, you learn pretty fast.
Oh, yes, of course.
I was probably sharpening blades by the time I was 3.
Well, that all sounds quite lovely.
You? I mean, you're talking about retiring or something.
Can I be very honest?
Do it.
Honestly, I was never anticipating actually surviving the journey. I was fairly certain I'd die.
I was pretty sure you mentioned that while you were really drunk one time.
Yeah.
But, you know, so far our fatality rate is astoundingly low for people in our profession, so
well,
survival are relatively good. Especially since when, you know, all those times when, yeah, we got somebody down, you're not usually one of them.
Call it luck, I suppose, but...
You're durable, you wear a lot of armor, you can heal yourself, you know. Your odds of survival in any given situation is pretty good.
I don't know. I thought I'd have one of those moments of just rampant bleeding heart and, like, sacrifice myself for the good of the group or something like that.
Yeah, that shit's pretty lethal.
Yeah.
And you are prone to it, so I wouldn't put it outside the realm of possibility, but...
Right.
You know, the rest of us tend to be relatively durable, at least, and fairly capable, so there's not usually a lot of self-sacrifice required.
Not typically, but...
I mean, you know, a couple bad encounters with lava or something, and I think your odds of having to do something like that, or feeling like you should do something like that, may go up.
Well, color me guilty then.
Yeah, well. At that point, there won't be much coloring to do.
I suppose
you
you've
try to
got
color
me
an
there.
ash pile? It doesn't work. You color with an ash pile. Coloring an ash pile? No, it doesn't work.
Right. Well, I'm sure I've probably asked you at least one time while drunk, but do you have any...
At this moment, if I could interject for 1 second, and I'll let you guys continue. Teak and Ogun both feel uneasy.
Did you feel something just now?
Yeah, something's not right. I don't like it when something's not right.
I don't either.
Demons and stuff all the time. This is why I'm more okay with killing them than making deals with them.
Did you feel something right now? We're just like, yeah, I don't like it. Oh, I was trying to flirt. Okay, never mind. Yeah, I don't like it either.
No. Ogun fails at detecting flirting all the time. Magical shit he's pretty good with, though.
I'm sorry for interjecting, though. You guys can continue.
Oh, thanks. I hate it.
Sorry about the dog noise. You know, yeah, he's gonna throw detect magic real quick.
Teek's gonna blow his charge of divine sense.
Let's see. Can you read me the text of divine sense off the top, or if you remember it? I always forget exactly what it says. But
1 second.
Ogun.
Yeah.
Is going to detect the faintest aura of magic. If you use your action, you're able to detect abjuration magic.
Okay. Action.
I threw up the text of I threw up the text of Divine Sense for you, Brandon.
Let's see. As an action to detect celestial fiend or undead, detect consecrated or desecrated. I guess this would technically count as consecrated. You're going to detect consecrated air and atmosphere around you.
All right, it's probably practice. Let's go.
All right.
Moderately on topic, Brandon.
Yes.
Would in the subject of divine sense, would Tobias come up as he would ping as undead, wouldn't he?
He would, but he is blocked by total cover. You are in your room.
Okay, I was just wondering. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine. All right. So I had a timer on the stream for when Soulmane busted into your room, and you guys just barely came out ahead of the timer. As you step out of the room, you're going to see Soulmane walking down the hallway uneasy towards Teek's room. In the hallway, Soulmane, Teek, and Ogun are together. Ogun and Teek are stepping out of their room.
Okay, so what disturbing thing is Fractus up to now?
He was sitting there with his whip, I'm guessing attuning to it, and then he just suddenly went unconscious.
It's not what we call it these days.
I was about to say, doesn't your religion have something against sitting down playing with your whip?
Fortunately for my sake, no.
Oh, good. Lucky for you. So it's no gender equality there, huh?
Anyways.
I want you to know that because I'm attuned to my whip, I am immune to being blind.
Very fortunate for you.
And stunned, for that matter, actually.
I don't think hairy palms fall into that category, though.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
So he's got a moony palm on one hand and a hairy one on the other. Or is it one moony hairy palm? He's got a werewolf hand. It's great.
Anyways. I managed to get him back up, and then he just started acting really weird, and now I don't want to be anywhere near him to try to sleep.
Well, I don't know. It feels weird. I haven't tried sleeping yet, so I don't know. It's just weird so far. It does feel like somebody's standing over me going, hey, when are you going to get done with your whatever something?
Very
One of you two better magic users can take a look at him.
Okay. Well, let's do that. So what is this about he dropped or got back up? What was that?
He went unconscious, and I managed to get him back up.
If you guys walk into the room where Fractus was,
kind of weird for an attuning process. Go ahead.
If you guys are walking towards Fractus's room, just like in the doorway, you can see Fractus sitting on his bed. He would be bloody, except where he would be bloody would be probably blood coming out of his ears or nose or something. From
Teek's going to. Yeah, Teek's going to immediately rush to his side and pump the rest of her as much lay on hands as he needs. I have up to 55. You said Soulmane healed him for 14, and he had taken 60?
He took 60 and then some before that from the sword attack.
Okay, plus 55 to your hit point total there, Fractus.
I was dropped to 0, so it'd be 14 is what my current hit point status is. So you had 55?
69.
Hey.
Nice.
All right. She says, "All right."
That's better, but I may have to find a new. This whip. Do I instantly know that people can't really rest in my aura, or is that something I'm gonna have to find out?
You are aware of all of the magical items' properties. How Fractus would feel it, he would know that there is a hunter's vigor that follows this whip when it's attuned, and that vigor can kind of play out into the people around you. But yes, you would be aware that people can't benefit from a short or long rest while near you.
Well, it looks like I'm gonna have to stay at another place.
Why is that?
I think Sindri would be wandering over by now because he can't sleep.
This whip is amazing, but the death goddess has apparently prices that have to be paid when you attune it. That thing kicked my living butt.
As opposed to dead butt.
Wow. Goddess of
And-
death.
and
Something kills you almost. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah, that tracks.
Do you mind if I
Still.
take a look?
So, first off, since I've got Detect Arcana running, try to evaluate this thing, like learn a little bit more what the hell's going on here. Is it just that? Is it cursed or something as well?
That's going to be dependent. Does Fractus convey to them what he can feel the whip is capable of?
I just convey not the stuff. I'm gonna convey. Yes, there's a way that's going to prevent Elena from coming back if she's killed. And the price is that when you attune it, it takes a bit of your life.
Okay.
But the worst part is this desire to go hunter. I mean, I'm barely keeping it in check right now, but I'm sure it's affecting all of you too.
And by the way, to Tobias and Sindri are free to join this RP, as you guys would feel uneasy also. But that said, Ogun, when you roll that Arcana check inspecting this,
Yeah.
You're going to be able to deduce that when you had this bow, when it was a bowstring, and when you had it as a bowstring, and then even once it turned into a whip and you guys were carrying it back, it seemed very magical and potent even then. It was only once Fractus attuned to it that these other things started to reveal themselves. You can discern that there are probably magical benefits of this weapon that can be used when it is unattuned, and there are other benefits that can be used when it is attuned. As to which is which, you are not certain because you did not get enough information from it.
Okay. Okay. Well, I guess it's as good as it gets. The next thing is to look Practice over and see, like, is he Is it like a magical permanent wound that's gonna stick until its task is complete, or is it just there was some damage done in this attuning process that fucked him up real good?
As you're inspecting Fractus, you're going to notice Fractus's skin is harder in certain areas.
Okay.
Almost.
In my pants.
Yeah, almost concerningly so. Like
He's not checking that area.
almost like a lump. As you push against these certain areas and you become like concerned for Fractus's health, Fractus is going to be aware that the patterns that Ogun is pressing on matches the same pattern of the whip. The whip wrapping around you. There's no residual damage. However, you do have the benefit to your AC from the whip. As far as the damage isn't permanent, you can be healed. It did hurt, though, getting attuned to this thing.
So is he cursed?
No, it looks like there's some. They almost feel like cysts. It's like a higher density tissue in certain areas. Not real familiar with that
Sindri's
kind of
gonna
thing.
amble in.
Say again?
Sindri's gonna come in.
Okay.
Me too.
Oh, actually, Brandon, does since I'm looking at him with Detect Magic still running, am I seeing like the magical stuff is concentrated in the denser areas?
Oh yeah, you would actually.
Okay.
You would see a almost web-like pattern around Fractus, or rope-like
Okay.
pattern of like where this thing twisted around him.
Okay. Oh, that probably hurt a lot. So,
You
Fractus,
think?
this thing embedded itself in your body, huh?
It burned whatever it was and wrapped around me.
Yeah, well, it
But I'm
soaked in.
I'm okay now. I feel durable. Tough.
Yeah, I imagine
More
this helps with
so,
that.
more so than I was before. I mean,
So, since he's checking him over, can I get an idea of like, is he still missing a bunch of hit points, or is he pretty much good?
No, well, he's. I actually don't know Fractus's max HP. Fractus.
I'm missing.
Don't give an exact number. You can use injured, hurt,
I
injured,
still
hurt,
have some
bloody.
scrapes and bruises.
Okay. Yeah, but you're not bloodied.
Correct.
Okay.
What the hell happened? Can I fix him yet?
Yeah, you guys,
Yeah,
Sindri
go for it.
and Tobias are going to see, Fractus being inspected by Teak and Ogun, and Soulmane standing on the other side of the room.
So, bit of a decision we may need to make due to this restlessness. I don't know if it'll be necessary to change our plans because I don't think we have an accurate location yet. Well, yeah, we don't have an accurate location yet. So you may be missing out on sleep for no good reason at this point.
Well, did you
Unless
tell
this
me
thing
that,
tells you where she is.
Did you tell me that there might be some benefits if I don't attune to it? You didn't, right?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Not yet, anyways. But, so apparently this has a lot of power when attuned, and it looks like it still had something when it wasn't. I don't know if that's going to be enough to get the job done, or if it's just, well, it's a magical item. You can swing it at things. It'll do a little bit more oomph.
Well, other than the side effect and getting my ass handed.
Yeah, well, that happens when magical thing that doesn't mind hurting you decides to soak into your skin. So it's not a unexpected result in some ways. Now that I know what it's doing, I mean, but I imagine they didn't really tell you, oh, by the way, this is going to soak into your skin. It's probably going to sting a little. Ha ha ha.
Well, the worst part is sleep. I mean, I can't go days without sleep.
Yeah, well, depending on how fast our scouts get back to us, that may or may not be the situation. Like if we hear back in the morning, you
Elson's going to walk in the room, helmet underneath his arm.
Answer me this. Has there been an attempt to scry our target?
She was on another plane last we heard, so not for a while. Is theoretically an option, though.
If we do know a location, how quickly are we willing to move?
I can go now. I'm not in perfect tip-top shape necessarily. Used a couple spells, or used a spell. Speaking of which, yeah, if y'all are gonna heal him, go right ahead. He could use a little work, or I can. Your call.
Are we ready to go now? I thought we were trying to flip information. I can unattune this thing.
Yeah, that might be the best course at this time.
The problem is...
wait until we're fixed you, because it might hurt to take it off, too.
Good point.
Well, wouldn't it be better than instead of wasting the magic and just fix him when he comes back? Or
well, not if he takes too much and he can't come back. Last time he was knocked out, right?
I made
it back to reincarnating him. He might get to be an elf anyways. Hang on a sec, y'all. I need to take the dog out before she flips shit, so I'm going to switch to my phone. I'll be out for just a moment.
Okay. I'm going to unattune Brandon.
Okay. It only takes you a couple minutes to clear your mind and break your connection with this whip. Because I actually don't remember the process for unattuning, so we're going to say that's what it is.
Okay.
If it leaves your person.
Okay. Yeah, you throw it at Teak here. No, I'm kidding. Alright, so you are going to be aware of what properties you no longer have access to within the whip. So if you look back in Group A, I have separated its effects out for you. You can see the effect of the whip, and then you can see when attuned what it does, and then when you're on attune, you just have its base use.
Oh, okay.
And for the people on stream, I guess I'll read that. So the Moonflax Whip, also called Eternal Thread, is what Fractus feels its name is. You can name it whatever you like. It is your weapon. It deals an additional one...
There are many whips like it, but this one is yours.
Yeah. What is... I'll ask later. That quote sounds very familiar. But, it deals an additional 1d6 radiant damage on top of the d4 it deals as a whip. While using it, you can speak an oath at a target creature you can see, and the creature's soul who is affected by the oath when killed will be placed in a force cage in the astral sea when killed. When you're attuned to the weapon, you can cast Branding Smite in a 2nd level spell slot, Dimension Door, or Banishing Smite. Oh, that's Banishing Smite in a 6th level spell slot, once per day each. Then, while attuned to it, you are also immune to the conditions Blind, Deafen, Petrification, and Stun. And you gain an additional 2 natural AC to your armor class. And that will not count against your unarmed move or unarmed or defense.
What's the significance of having Banishing Smite in the 6th level slot?
It deals more damage, I believe.
Nope, it does not. Banishing Smite lacks at higher levels tab.
It's harder to counterspell.
Fair enough.
Yeah. While attuned to the artifact, you and other creatures can't take a short or long rest while within 300 feet of you. Upon finishing attuning to it, it deals 8d10 psychic damage.
And I want to say, Brandon, you rolled really fucking good to give me 60 points of damage.
Yeah, I'm sorry. But you guys also rolled really, really good. You rolled 6 benefits and 2 detriments on the weapon. That's why I had you guys roll d6s and earlier. D6s and d4s.
Yeah, that first one though with the rest, that's a tough one. That's a steep, Brandon.
I think that's the worst thing possible we could have gotten.
Yeah.
Would you believe me if I told you that's a minor detriment? The major detriment is the 8d10 psychic damage.
I would rather take the 8d10.
Yeah, seriously, if that was if
Well,
that wasn't really Fractus's weapon because he made the deal and everything like that, except for that no resting business, that was awesome sauce for Odin for sure, and probably half the rest of the characters, if not all of them.
I will say, and I'll say this in character, that as like you guys are sitting here talking about this, Elson will like pipe up and say, well, you know, when we had to go on extended patrols through the mountains, there wasn't time to rest against the elements. We stumbled onto these things, could brew a small little potion out of some black beans, and then if the druids amongst the keepers could cast lesser restoration on each other and stave off the effects of exhaustion for a couple extra days.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exhaustion is one thing, but spells is the other. And that's the hard part, really. I mean, if you have a relatively tractable situation, then yeah, sure. I can lessen restoration and everything like that, and you know, if I knew I needed it, which I don't think I loaded that one. Brandon, you'd have to look at my sheet.
Okay, I will.
There are many more things that are needed a long rest. In my case.
Yeah.
Steve, for Sindri, Ketone's Ointment is a wondrous uncommon item. It's 3 inches in diameter and contains 1d4 plus 1 doses of thick mixture that smell faintly of aloe, and its contents weigh half a pound. As an action, 1 dose of the ointment can be swallowed or applied to the skin. The creature that receives it regains 2d8 plus 2 hit points and ceases to be poisoned and is cured of any disease.
Okay, and that was how many? D4? 2d4?
1d4 plus 1.
D4 plus 1.
But yeah, it is a rough thing. But when you guys know you're going to fight somebody, definitely attune to it. Or if you're at full resources and you don't need to rest for that day. Because like tonight, all you're missing...
pretty much when you want it.
All you're missing tonight, I think, is like 2 detect magics from Ogun.
1.
Well, I think you cast one on the wall back at Eucalyptium.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't mark it on my sheet. I just need a decrement when I get back to my computer.
Yeah, just 2 detect magics and a charge from the helmet, and then ascending from Tobias, and that's everything.
My healing hands.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, and Teek's things.
And yeah, there's some healing mojos all the way around, or for a few people now, it sounds like, to get Fractus back to full.
Well, if Fractus is going to sleep, we don't need to heal him again anymore.
Yeah.
True.
Fractus is unattuned from the whip.
Okay.
Does he heal a lot while sleeping?
He
He'll
heals
heal.
completely if he if nobody stabs him in the night.
I don't like the way you said that.
See, now here's the thing. There's no good answer for me. Because I can say, well, I have plans to stab you in the night, and then you guys are on edge. Or I could say, I have no plans to stab you in the night, and then you guys are on edge.
But that kind of comment makes Sindri want to experiment and see if like poking him a couple times will make him not heal or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't
plebeians, I need to sleep.
I don't need to be attuned to send you to the bridge.
All right. Well, Sindri will pull his homunculus back if he can heal in his sleep.
It's been a long day, guys.
Alright. Well, I'm glad you're not dead, and do be careful with that thing. So.
Yeah, it caught me by surprise.
I'm sure it did.
Maybe don't sleep with it under your pillow. You might attune in your sleep.
No, it takes conscious effort to do that.
I would
This
hope
does
so.
with usual magic items. I can't say for 100% that it would not do something crazy like that with this one, but at least with this one, if you're attuned to it in your sleep, you'll know.
Well, I'm tired of magic poking me, so I'm going to bed, guys.
Okay.
And with that, he just fully clothed. He just wraps the blanket around him and curls up.
All right.
I promise not to stab him in my sleep tonight.
You ass. You're such an ass.
Sleep stabs. All right. Does anybody want to do anything before we skip to the next day?
I'm good.
As Odin walks out the door, he says, I think that's called stabsomnia.
I'll be conscious doing it.
Oh, well then it's not stabsomnia. That's assholery.
No, it's called revenge. I'm kidding. All right.
Yeah, have revenge. You don't do it when they're asleep. You do it when they're awake and facing you, and they get to scream a little first. That's revenge.
My name is
I'm an
Soulmane
assassin. I'm an assassin.
Inigo Montoya. You tried to make me sleep with the woman my father wanted to marry.
Inigo one soulmate.
Prepare to be stabbed.
Prepare to be boinked.
All right.
Respect.
So let's.
Responding to Ogan. You forget I'm an assassin. The best time to get them is when they're asleep.
I thought you would get them from behind and then, like, stick your head over their shoulder and then tell them so that they can have some more screaming before you stab them a second time and finish the job. I don't know. I'd make a bad assassin, probably.
No, you'd be good. You'd just turn into a wolf and make it look like it was natural.
Well, for
That's
one
true.
thing, that none of you are quiet.
Elson's gonna speak up and say
Quiet when I want to be.
there was a orc barbarian or orc fighter who was an assassin in Ardor Sarai. One of the most legendary ones to ever hold the title. When he showed up in a building, his target would always die, but so would everyone else.
Oh, I thought you were going to tell me about, I think his name was...
That just smacks of supreme efficiency.
I think that's really, really, really
It's a
bad
buy
pass.
one get 10 free deal.
Didn't he also die in that raid?
Yeah, Soulmane would be aware of him. His name was Gavrilo Elslor, the legendary orc assassin.
Did you hear about the half-orc rogue who was not particularly strong or quick, but very, it could be a little charming from time to time, could be really scary, and he never really snuck into buildings. It was more like he would walk up to whoever in the building and said, "You saw nothing," and they would never say that they saw him. So technically, he snuck in just fine. No one would admit to it. No one ever set the alarm. He would enter, scare the piss out of everyone and leave. Except for, doing whatever it was he was there to do. Kill the one guy or steal the thing or whatever it was. I think it was 4. I might be wrong about that, but
Elson's
I could look it up if I was at the library.
As Elson's in the hallway moving back towards his room, he's just gonna look around and just say, I'd spit at these things if this establishment wasn't so nice. There's no honor in attacking at night.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, no, attacking at night can be hilarious, but it's the backstabby part that's not so nice.
Most
You need to
people,
at least wake them up, give them a chance.
Brandon, that's shade.
It's true. All right, is everybody comfortable with skipping to the morning?
sure.
If JD and I are done with our roleplay segment, because I have a feeling there might be more.
You guys can keep going if the rest of the party's comfortable with it.
I think
Honestly, I think the mood has been ruined personally.
I was about
That's
to say it killed the mood.
Yeah.
Well, I had one last thing for Ogun. Brandon, can you roll me an insight, please?
Yes, I
Maybe one
will.
last thing.
Give me 1 second. I've got your sheet up.
Okay.
God, Ogun has a lot of HP.
Yep.
You rolled a 17. Or the check was 17. You didn't roll 17.
Okay. Well, that's plenty good. So they get back into the room, and Ogun says to Teak, I got 2 questions. One,
Go
do you
ahead.
want some of these pastries, or can I devour a couple? Since I think they were for the guilt or whatever from practice. And 2, what was the question under the question that you asked earlier? About what are you doing after this?
Teak is. Let's see. She hasn't. Has there been anything to trigger her transformation recently? I would think no, right?
No. She has to be within 30 feet of a 3rd level spell or higher.
Right. Okay. I was just double checking. She'll blush a little bit, and say, "We can split the pastries. It's not really that important. The question, I mean."
It is, and you know it. At least it is to you. I don't know what the question is. I just can hear that question underneath it. If you don't want to ask it now, that's up to you.
She sighs and
Yes.
and says, "Okay, it's like this. I honestly really don't know how to ask this question. I've not asked anybody this question in decades. I'm just going to say it. I fancy you, and I know what I am, and may not necessarily be. Okay, I've said it. I've said my piece. That's enough, I think, for now. I can get another room if you prefer. She's going to start walking towards the door.
Ogun grabs her. Back here.
She keeps her head turned towards the door, away from Ogun.
He pulls her in close.
She still doesn't
Not
look
sure
at him.
what elves mean by fancy exactly, but I think that if you're talking to someone with a lifespan nearly as short as mine, that's somewhere between a tryst and a one-night stand, relatively speaking. And on the one hand, probably easier than Fractus. And on the other, I lost everyone I'd ever known. And it wasn't even all that long ago. So, I've not allowed myself any matters of the heart for quite some time. Well, quite some time by my reckoning anyways. Which is not even a decade. Or maybe almost a decade.
Shattered are on a similar time clock.
So it depends on what you mean by fancy. Because, you know, looking at what we've been up to lately, we're going to need to get some rest. But I find little use for clothing separation or most other things when it comes to fancies.
Teak turns her head to look at Ogun and say, the extent of it is, quite frankly, before all of this, I thought this will be one more task that I undertake, and then I retire and I go away someplace where I can't
find yourself a hermitage,
something like that. Someplace where there's no more expectations of me. But honestly, since being on this journey with you, I find myself wanting to have somebody expect something of me. And wanting to have something to aspire to that's more than just being alone for the rest of my life.
Well, but not alone, for me at least, isn't going to last all that long, by your reckoning, I think. As far as expectations, I expect you to be reasonably warm, snuggly, and naked. And I think that'll satisfy some of our...
She's going to put one of her hands on the back of his head and pull him into a kiss.
You kiss his
a cacophony of animal or Disney princess birds close the door.
No, it's just the animals Ogun summoned.
Wow.
All right.
Brandon.
What's up?
I just looked at what.
Oh,
I hate myself for this. How was my passive perception? It's fucking 22. When I don't sleep.
Poor Tobias is just sitting there and hearing this noise all night.
Brandon, I will take a point of exhaustion if they wake us up.
I will let you guys use your imagination, but otherwise everybody is able to sleep through the night.
If there's an open window, though, I could send my homunculus and give them inspiration.
Thanks, I hate it.
I would like to say I got to play.
I think I have guidance as a cantrip, so I don't think we'll need any help there.
Where's the performance checks?
Brandon, you're welcome for resolving the ultimate will they won't they of your campaign.
In my headcanon, I'm going on they will.
Okay.
So that's where I'm at.
I'll point out two salient features then. Shape shifting twice between short rests, and a 19 Constitution.
I've got you matched on the Constitution there, bud.
Okay.
Oh, there you go.
All right. Well,
Let's see.
I was playing sweet emotional music, but I feel like
I have 7 spell slots in which I can cast Lesser Restoration, which I have prepared.
There we go. We'll go with this.
Well, aren't you two just
Brandon,
adorable?
this is not love filled. This is just raw.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I was like, the music I was playing definitely wasn't appropriate.
Yeah!
This is more Welcome to the Jungle.
Yeah.
Or Bad Touch or something like that.
Hey, Anthony.
I was thinking of the only good song that Korn has ever put out, "Freak on a Leash."
They get done in
I wouldn't let you put a leash on him, though.
I think you're thinking of the wrong person getting leashed.
Okay, good. As long as we're on the same page with that.
And this, children, is why this is not for you.
This is why Brendan asks children to be like, "Hey, ask your parents if this is okay."
Is this okay, Mom?
So,
As if
Brandon,
their parents are gonna know.
no, it
what's
depends
up?
on the parents.
Best
I was just gonna say,
ever.
Brandon, you should Brandon, you should save some fragments of this for next time somebody asks why you earn your rating.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
PG at
exactly.
worst.
Okay, so it is going to be the 30th of Hunter. It is early in the morning. The sound of boats in the harbor ring in the distance. And
Ding, ding.
yeah, everybody's awake. The party can come together downstairs for breakfast, and Elson will have the helm of teleportation on the table. And would he have had? He didn't have money to get you guys food, but he is a druid, and he could cast. Nope, he can't cast good berries because I added a material component to it that he doesn't have.
I'll
does-
go buy us some
Nice.
breakfast.
He has a table for you guys ready.
Okay.
I'll go
tucked
buy
away
it.
more than his usual enormous pile of food.
How much was breakfast, Brandon?
I'll say it's a copper or rather a silver a person. So you can just spend 7, and it's set.
I think Teak and Ogun need a little extra, so you might want to just give them the gold.
Fair enough.
All right. As everybody is coming down to the table,
I'm gonna roll a stealth check, Brandon,
okay.
and I'm gonna stealth Teak a thumbs up.
Depending on your stealth.
And I do it really poorly.
Hold on. Aw, damn, I saw it. For a second there was a decent chance that Teak would have just missed it entirely.
So does either of them seem exhausted?
You know what? I won't, but I'll roll nail scars.
Hey.
On Teak is very modest in the armor she wears. However, you are going to see scratches and just red marks on Ogun's arms and back. Don't look like his tattoo. Otherwise, though, they got the Constitution to do an all-nighter. They're fine.
Nothing more,
I
folks.
guess I'll never need to use my greater restoration that's free.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? If it was going to be a saving throw, we both get counts as being inside my aura of protection.
There was.
Oh, that's
Okay,
hilarious.
look. There was no protection of any kind. Okay, just that's great.
All right. So for as you guys are in this, Elson's going to speak up and say, "It's been a couple Or it's been a couple decades since I've last been to Mentori. But I spent all night, what I could of it, just thinking on the Grand Arena.
Why?
He's going to look at the helmet and say, didn't you say this magic was inaccurate at best?
Did a good job.
The closest you can
As
get
close
us.
as you could get us.
Oh, that's right. You're our targeting device. Or
Before
individual.
before we set out, do you think it's worth trying to scry Elena's position?
Yeah, we're relatively safe here.
As I've prepared that spell today, if we feel it's worth the effort.
Ooh, he would be familiar with scrying. He's going to say, in the Great Elite Lodge, we had a basin that we would use for it.
I'll be right back.
And he's going to ask, do you have one that you carry with you? He looks around. Scrying has 1,000 gold material component costs. Because you guys have been scrying, but you've been using the university's basin.
Let's ask the innkeeper.
No, we don't have to, though, Brandon. We have a mirror that I extorted from...
Oh, yeah, you do have a mirror. So Practice can produce
we have
it.
a mirror. Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah, I just
Logan was
remember
carrying
before
it, but
you
whatever.
were using...
So
I actually thought Tobias was carrying it, but since he was doing the scrying, but one of you do.
Do you actually need the spell to be able to scry, or is that just something the mirror can do?
No, this mirror is...
no, you have to have a spell.
Yeah, you need the spell. The mirror is the conduit through which the scrying works. You cast scrying and then
It's a
you
material
look through the
component,
mirror.
not a
Yeah.
Not a consumed one.
magic item.
Okay. Well, I mean, my I guess the DC I have is at 18, so I guess this is as good as we're going to get. Unless somebody has something of Elena's on their person, like an item she used to have.
We used to have the bag that she gave the money to.
No, we still got that. Remember, that's how we did it before.
Yeah.
So that would make it 21.
All right.
Yeah, your DC is the same as Ogun, so feel free.
She is going to roll against the scrying, and it's a wisdom check, I believe.
It is wisdom saving throw yet? Yeah, wisdom check.
Or wisdom saving throw. The 7, Elena Ladelia, and let's see, she's got +8. All right. 7. She is going to beat it. The scrying attempt fails to produce a
desired result.
Yeah.
That was a waste of a 6th level spot, or what, a 5th level slot.
Well, that's...
Elson's going to put a hand on Tobias' shoulder and say, sometimes reconnaissance is worth the information alone.
Yeah, here's the thing. Brandon.
Yes.
Can he tell the difference between she's not on this plane and she managed to make the save?
I think so. Let me double check.
Okay. Because that's an important distinction at this time.
SC. Here we go. Target makes... I will allow Tobias and a free intelligence check. If he wants, but otherwise, I will say the information of said shenanigans is already known by the party.
Okay.
Okay, because I thought we didn't know at this point.
Well, I'm saying you guys know the spells you're capable of casting.
Okay.
Tobias is going to be aware you can't target a creature with scrying if they're not on the same plane of existence as you.
Yeah, I'm just not sure as to how that would feel to the caster. Like, does it feel like, well, I cast it and it bounces, versus, oh, I can't cast it because they're not on this plane? Or, something like that.
Mechanically, I'm trying my best to answer without,
Answering?
No, not without not answering, but I'm not trying to be exceptionally difficult, but I'm also not trying to just, point out and just say, look, da-da-da-da-da. Mechanically, if you can't target with a spell, the spell is not spent. Because you can't fulfill the conditions to cast the spell.
Okay, but he did expend the spell.
The spell slot is gone.
Well, that's unfortunate. Hate wasting spells, but...
So, Tobias, that means she's around.
Yeah, Elson's gonna say, "What are you talking about? She's alive. That's worth it. At least we have a quarry."
There's alive and there's alive, but on a different plane. That distinction is kind of important because that, pointing at the helm, can only get us there if she's on the plane. If she's not on the plane, you need different magic.
Well, I guess she's here.
Okay.
He's going to nod and say, "Well, we'll go to Mentori today. We'll meet his family." He gestures to Soulmane and says, "By the afternoon, we head to Ardor. We meet my family, and I'll take my boys and I to the Earthfire, and we'll do what we can. We'll see her, and if we do, you'll be the first ones to know."
On the one hand, that sounds reasonable. On the other, if she knows... Actually, that's another mechanics question, Brandon. If somebody scries and you make the save, do you know that someone just tried to scry you and failed?
It depends on how intelligent you are with magic. You would know... Okay. You would feel like the tingle of magic and your ability to resist it. You wouldn't be...
Okay.
You wouldn't be innately aware of what it was, but if you're smart enough, then you could be like, wait a second.
Okay. So, Tobias.
Yes.
If you expended the spell and it didn't work, my money is on she knows that someone's at least tried to scry her. Or something similar.
We might as well assume that she can... Might as well assume that she can actually determine who it was and where they are. So.
I don't know about that.
That requires a casting of a spell in and of itself. And if that were the case, then I would know whether I'm being scried on or not.
Well, wouldn't she have to know where who was doing the scrying to be able to pull that?
Yeah. Yes,
detect magic of some form maybe might bring her that much information. I'm not sure.
Well, what I'm getting at is if she's been alerted at all, the smart move might be to take an hour, let Fractus reattune the whip when we fix him up again, and then load up and prepare to drop. And see if we can get a solid scry and then get a teleport in and throw down. Let's get this done.
I can cast a scrying once.
She'll be ill prepared.
Practice, let me know before you try that again. I have something to help you.
Elson starts scratching the back of his head uncomfortably.
So if you don't think she's alerted, or if you want to let her stew in it for a while, then we can continue with the previous plan as Elson has outlined.
She knows that we're chasing her.
Yeah.
It's not like this is news to her.
Yeah.
But
she didn't know, or she was in another realm. So, the fact that now we know that she's back is, I think, potentially a good reason to change our plans.
I feel like if she's returned from another realm, then we were not able to interrupt whatever she was doing. I think we should be acting sooner rather than later.
Well,
we are at a disadvantage as far as information is concerned.
Yeah,
We need
especially
as
if we end up
many
having to
of
wait
the
an hour.
Need as many of the Earthfires guarded and reporting as possible.
I've been thinking about that, and are we certain that she needs all of the Earthfires to do what she was wanting to do?
Wow. No, but she was after one of them. So we know that it probably requires 3 of them.
At least one more, yeah.
Well, why?
Either way, I think we can be, flinging spells at her face a lot faster than we can be protecting all the Earthfires.
Considering the gravity of what she's doing, wouldn't she want a full pocket of magic than a half pocket?
But she's not the one orchestrating this.
But she's the one casting it.
Well, as far as we know, but she's a pawn in this.
That is true. Whatever's next is likely going to be bigger.
Yeah. Well, part of it is also, do you give her a day to prepare and pick out useful spells that are more likely to give us trouble? Or do you just say, well, let's see how unprepared she is? It's a big die roll. It's a big risk.
We know she's here, but we don't know where she's here.
She may already have
that's what scrying's for. We'll have to get a good scry before we can even consider dropping.
So we're gonna blow all of our high spells trying to get that.
Not the highest spells.
Elson's going to speak up and say, as he points to Ogun and says, "Only his. I didn't think I'd need it. I didn't prepare it today."
I have one more casting myself.
Tobias, I will allow you to resend that, but you are aware you cannot scry on a target 2 times in a row if it fails.
3 times in a row?
No. If they pass your save, they're immune to scrying from you.
For how long?
24 hours.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. So basically, I can try again, or if
we'll do it.
That's
good.
Okay. Well, the main thing is that if we're gonna try to protect the Earthfires first, then there's no point, because then we're pinging her more. If we're gonna go drop on her, I just want an agreement from everybody that we're doing that. Then I will try myself.
Should we wait until he's attuned before trying again, just so we're ready to go on the instant?
That's kind of a good idea, yeah.
Well, then I say we just continue on. Because I'm honest with you guys, I don't want to keep getting my ass handed to me by this whip every time we think we're about to go at it. So
I don't want to put you through it in case you end up dead accidentally. So
that would be a shame.
Well, I can prevent that as long as I'm near.
Okay, so he's the prevention, I'm the cure. I don't think, dead is not permanent. That's fixable.
Easily.
Yeah, at least for the time being. So the question is, do you all want to get ready and try to drop on her right now? or do you want to try to go with the previous plan?
Practice mutters under his breath, and you ain't the one that's dead. Easily fix my ass. Anyways.
All things considered, I feel fairly confident about our next move.
Teak, why don't you just decide for us?
If we're going to attune you again to the whip, we might as well move on to the assassins and have that being dealt with during the hour.
Except that would expend charges out of the helm, and we may need those to stick the landing.
How many did we get?
That's correct.
This day.
The helm has 3 right now, assuming there was no Elson playing around with teleporting in the middle of the night, which I don't suspect there was. And our odds of dropping on something we've just seen are not that great. Wait a minute, I just had a thought. Hey, Brandon.
Yes.
Just preemptively, I have a weird question for you.
Hit me.
The travel by trees or plants or whatever that one's called.
Yeah, I think it's a tree you touch to a tree you've seen before.
Right. If I scry and see a tree, is that good enough?
Let's see. I'm not 100% familiar with it, so I've got my player's handbook. I'm looking at it in 2 seconds.
Okay. Go lay down.
P.S.
Yeah. Must have seen or touched the destination plant at least once before, it says.
Well, if that is the text of it, you must have seen the destination tree, then I would say it counts.
Okay.
That would just be like, that would be the same thing of teleporting to someplace you see the magical thing. Let's see. The spell creates a magical link. Another plane you must have seen or touched.
Yeah, the big one there is with the plants. I don't have to worry about sticking the landing. Because there's no roll or anything. It's just like, which tree are you going to? That one right there. Boom.
So, did you see a tree when you scried?
No, I haven't scried yet. I'm still wanting to make sure that everybody's go for let's go drop on her. And if that's the case, we should probably do the attunement first. Sorry, Practice.
I'm prepared. At least.
Getting the max practice.
Okay, hold on. Damn. Okay. I'm trying to see if there's any way that I could, like, help him out here.
I'm going to help him. Orion here can give him resilience, which raises the amount of hit points that he has temporarily. And I could ward death as well, just to keep him above 0.
I mean, false life.
There is false life, but also check your inventories. At some point, I gave you guys a bunch of potions. Or maybe that's group B.
We burned through a bunch of potions.
Yeah, we did.
Okay. Because
I don't know if I was ever given a bunch. I made them myself.
Hey, so, real quick, as this may be relevant, was the amount of experience points that I missed out on equal to about 12,000?
No, the amount that you missed out on was about 6,000 something.
Okay, then it's not relevant. Okay, yeah, we're going to go ahead and have Fractus attuned to the whip.
All right, Practice, everybody's looking at you. Do you spend an hour meditating on the whip? If you're speaking, Shelby, I can't hear you. You are muted.
That's because I was yelling at the dog. Sorry. I do, but before I do that, I'm going to take the helmet and go, you might as well reattune, and I hand it to Ogun.
That's a good point. All right.
Elson's gonna look like side to side and like, just looked down. Okay. All right.
So the homunculus is going to go ahead and cast on Fractus its salve and have the resilience, so he gains some temporary hit points.
Okay.
Ooh.
Can you link
Lay
it
it
so
on
we
me.
know how much it is?
Yeah, I've got the book open here. Just a second.
I think the homunculus companion I gave you had it on its sheet.
It's got 2d6 plus intelligence modifier.
Okay,
So...
I just clicked it. It rolled a 19. There it is. 10. Okay.
So does that include my intelligence modifier or not?
Your intelligence modifier? That doesn't include your intelligence modifier. I'm going to look at your thing just to make sure it's factoring that right for the future.
You rolled
alright.
shitty too.
Let's see. 2... Wait, it rolls 2d6 plus 5. 5 is your intelligence modifier. That is factored in.
That's correct.
There. Okay,
Yeah.
It's got a 0 to hit. I'm wondering where that other 0 came from, but that's fine. Okay.
I don't know why it has a +0 either.
Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be that's going to be 4 plus 1 plus 5 is going to be 10 temporary hit points. All right. Fractus. Everybody's going to give you some private time in your bunk room, and sitting down and meditating on this whip. I'm not going to go through the whole scene again. Same thing as before. You imagine it and feel it wrapping around your body, enveloping you, and then burning itself into your skin. And this time you are more prepared for it and just kind of breathe through the experience. You take 39 points of psychic damage when you wake. The whip is in your lap. It is giving off dim, pale white light.
That'll put you at 29 down.
Yeah, I got it.
All right, and everybody feels that unease again. You're on consecrated area. All right. Go ahead.
Tika's going to go ahead and...
Hang on, before you do that, since I usually don't end up using the spells that I could use for healing things in combat and such, let me go ahead and throw first on that.
Okay.
Cure wounds out of a third level, second? I'll go second level slot for starting.
In my opinion, casting it multiple times out of a lower level slot, that'll allow you to get your casting modifier bonus multiple times.
Good point. Yeah, I wasn't sure how much of the first levels I would be needing.
Well, that's the thing. Like, with the first levels, you can just always cast those in a higher level slot.
Right. True. Okay. So there's 12 for starting you out. There's 10.
I'll just so that, we're spreading it around a little bit, I'll go ahead and cast one as well. Hold on. Okay, so that's just the D8, because apparently, for some reason. So that will be another 10.
That should fix him.
That fixes me.
All right, excellent.
Alright. Duly noted. Okay. Once the hour is up, also gonna throw that scry. And Brandon, she is throwing against my base spell save DC is an 18, so I think she needs a 21 to beat it, if I'm correct.
Okay. She's going to roll a 23. I accidentally had her set with disadvantage. You are going to cast the scrying again, and you feel the power you expend from your body, and then the scrying fails. Or rather, it doesn't fail. It doesn't produce any image on the mirror. It fogs over, and then the magic dissipates.
Damn it. All right. I guess nobody else has that one, but we could teleport back to the university and get somebody there to try for us.
Well, there's always the using my ring.
Yeah, good point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if it's in the ring, I suppose I...
Got space for it?
Yeah, I think I expended everything that was in there, so it should be empty.
Is anyone else capable of casting a level that skilled?
Well, they have to have the spell specifically to put it into the ring, and then anybody can use it after that.
So just the man who wants to use the helmet.
I have a another casting of that I can put into the ring.
Go right ahead. And we'll just, look. I'll just look over his shoulder as long as I can see what's going on.
All right. Well, I'll expend my last 5th level slot, and in the ring.
Alright.
Conjure elementals today.
Sorry.
That's alright. I screwed it up.
Alright, Soulmane cast?
I think that's the plan.
Woof. Okay. So, Soulmane holds the mirror.
I think I was the one that got it through last time on her, too.
He is going to...
You can be our good luck charm.
This is weird. Give me 1 second.
Uh-oh.
And also, give me a D100. I've just never had to roll on this before, so she's immune to scryings from Ogun. Or immune to scryings from Tobias and Ogun, so I know you cast the spell, but I know it uses Ogun's spell save DC, so I just need to read from the Ring of Spells storing of what it counts as. So
it counts as me casting it, I believe.
Yeah, and it's Tobias's DC that they're the same, but...
Yeah, Tobias was the one who put the spell in, not Ogun.
Yeah.
I believe the way it's worded is...
Yeah, but otherwise it's treated as if you cast the spell. Okay. I just needed to make sure of that. Alright. So, you rolled me a D100. You are going to see Elena. She is sitting on a balcony overlooking the sea. She looks up at the sunrise and then goes back to reading.
Do I hear anything?
You hear the sound... Well, yes. You hear the sound of sea breeze and birds.
Look around, get see how much of the land you can see.
And what is she reading?
What is she reading? Is that what's
her diary from yesterday? Ogun and Tobias, you fuckers, you can't scry me anymore. Ha ha ha.
It appears to be her spellbook.
Alright. I don't think I can adjust it too much, but try to get an idea and look around the room, see if there's anything we can pick up.
More the landscape.
There appears to be a so everything beyond 10 feet is just fog to you. It's blurry and it's hard to see because it's out of focus. So what you can see immediately is you're in a large tower. It seems to be alone, as far as like it's not a part of like any great city like Dockensdale or Art or Sarai. It's definitely someplace in the Tide Gate, as there is an ocean around it in almost every direction. There's a passageway that leads inside with spheres that are giving off light, but they're foggy and beyond the 10 feet of distance the sensor can see. You can't really make them out.
Tower, huh?
Yeah.
Any of you guys know any of solo towers in the Tide Gate area?
Hey, Brandon, can I get a history check for that one?
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, go for it.
Or
27, not 20.
insight? Would insight be good?
Nat 20. Okay.
Investigation. Nat 20, that works.
You are going to recognize this tower.
Okay. Lay it on me.
You've only seen it once before when you were reading about it. But this tower is clearly a tower of that ancient aristocracy used to occupy in a city called Marbleport. And I don't remember the exact name of it off the top of my head. Let me check the wiki to see if I have this on there. But if I don't have it named, I will name it. Oh, I know what it would be named. Anyways, it would be named Noir Watch. Because it would have been renamed. You are aware that this is a tower that the government of the Tidegate region operates from within Ilil Nagai in the huge city of Marbleport.
Oh, I know that place. That's the Noir Watch in Marbleport. I've read about it. Has Ogun ever been there?
Has Sindri ever been there?
Has Sindri ever been there? Has Ogun ever been there? Ogun would have been here.
Maybe?
Yeah, Ogun would have been here once or twice before. Has Sindri been here before?
For me?
Less so for Sindri and less so for Tobias. Ogun has been living in Ilil Nagai for quite some time. Tobias would have been hunted if he came and, explored around Ilil Nagai.
Oh, yeah, I guess. Oh. Rip.
So, well, does it have any trees that are big enough? Is the first question I got that he remembers.
Not that you see. Oh, from Marbleport? Yeah. Roll me an intelligence check.
Okay. $17.
You're going to be able to put some things together. One, what you're seeing from Solmane's Shrine. It is a tower out in the ocean, on a island, with nothing else around it. You are very aware that Noir Watch is in the center of a giant bustling port city called Marbleport, surrounded by tons of other things. Elena is a very powerful spellcaster, and it's not beyond her to be able to craft an illusion this magnificent. That said, you can think of some trees inside of the city of Marbleport, but that might not necessarily be the city of Marbleport you're looking at, which she could have fabricated you know, like a little demi-plane area where she's at, or reconstructed this tower, or it could be a trap of some sort.
Okay. What's the save against illusions situation? Like, he has cause to think maybe it's an illusion, so...
Let's see. This spell specifically, I don't think you can save against it unless you touch it. Okay. Not that it's an illusion or anything anyways.
Brandon.
Yes.
And if it's a demi-plane, would we still be able to scry her?
Did I actually see the see it? Was I looking over the shoulder? I assume I was, right?
Yeah, everybody's looking at it. Like, Soulmane's got his phone pulled out and he's like, check out this meme. I'm kidding. Let's see. I'm just reading about this spell.
So it is the metagame for the win.
A creature carefully examining the illusion can attempt to make an intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC to disbelieve it.
What? Well, my passive investigation is 25.
It's an active check. You are actively looking.
Do you think this is an illusion, Ogan?
It might be. It's an awfully convenient place because it's a tower in the middle of a bustling city, and there's basically nothing around it. It's a pretty clean environment as far as, or it's a pretty, busy environment, difficult to kind of drop into in some ways unannounced, and easy to run into walls and things. Not a lot of trees either. I think I remember a few.
That would be a 22 for me, by the way, Brandon.
Okay. Well, Tobias definitely beat it. I don't even remember what her spell save is, so if you give me one moment, I have to add it up. Plus... Okay. Yeah, so Tobias and Sindri are going to beat it. And they are going to...
Yeah, just like I said, mine's a 22 because it's...
22? Okay, yes. And Soulmane.
Reliable talent.
You are going to see... where like, once Ogun points out it's an illusion, you're just like, wait, that's not an illusion. And then you start seeing, like, areas where the lighting doesn't quite match up. Like, where there should be shadows, and there aren't shadows. And then ever occasionally you might see the flicker of, like, some of this stone is a lot darker than it should be and a lot more jagged than it should be. It is definitely an illusion.
It's an illusion. For sure.
Yes.
That's one of the things I was worried about with the... I wonder if she knows that we're looking for part of that problem.
She's in a much lighter stoned area that's smoother than this seems.
Practice!
Yes.
What's your insight?
Passive or...
Yeah.
Gotta go active, actually.
I've got insight as well.
No, I'm giving Practice free passive insight.
Okay.
Okay.
Hold on, I'm sorry. I never look at the passive insight one.
Because if somebody was making a perception check, they are
24.
attacking your passive.
24.
All right. You are going to notice something. While she is reading, and she has her finger placed in her spell book, it's not moving across words. Her hand is clenched, and you see her just ever so often bite her lip. She's definitely deceiving you guys right now. You get the feeling this is an ambush.
Ooh, this looks like an ambush, guys.
Ooh, that's adorable.
Well,
do we care?
Well, she won't be there, even if we do go to that location.
That's true. I'm thinking this this other location, though. If y'all are actually, can you see through it well enough to see where she really is, Or is it just it's an illusion and that's it?
Let's put our heads together and see what we saw. Sindri will explain the tidbits that he was able to glean.
She's under stress, and there were some inconsistencies, albeit minor.
The lights weren't matching up. It almost seemed like... Was it just me, or did it seem like it was almost like she was in a cave?
I wouldn't...
More likely, different stone structure.
Well, that doesn't exactly narrow it down. We don't get any audio from where she was, right?
Soulmane did. However, if this place is to be believed, she is in some sort of sea side place. That is to assume that whatever illusion she created can't also produce sound. Soulmane doesn't do magic for Rizito.
Could I make an Arcana check to kind of...
Yeah, go for it. You have viewed the effects of the spell, and you have knowledge from your party. You can try and identify the spell via Xanathar's Guide to Everything's ruling to identify spells. So you can make an Arcana check, and you are trying to beat a DC of 15 plus the spell's level, I believe.
Okay. What was that for me?
Can an illusion spell like this cause audio inconsistencies as well?
Well, let me see if I can figure out what spell she's using.
Can I assist him in the arcane?
Yeah. Anybody can try and identify a check, so you are able to give the help action to him.
Okay, also helping.
Alright.
Yeah, 23, you're gonna more than beat it. You are...
What the fuck?
Wait. Who rolled what? I see lots of different rolls. Okay.
Rolled 15.
Hogan was just helping.
Okay.
I'm trying to.
So,
what was it?
Yeah, as you guys are putting your heads together, you are aware it's the spell Hallucinatory Terrain. Do you need me? Would you like me to read it to you, or are you guys familiar with the spell?
I personally can't remember. Can't.
It takes it takes 10 minutes to cast. Well, that's my bad on that. But anyways, it lasts for 24 hours. You make a natural terrain in a 150-foot cube in range, look, sound, and smell like some other sort of natural terrain. Thus, open fields and a road can be made to resemble a swamp, hill, crevice, or some other difficult or impassable terrain. A pond can be made to seem like a grassy meadow, a precipice like a gentle slope, or a rock-strewn gully like a wide and smooth road. Manufactured structures, equipment, and creatures within the area aren't changed in appearance. The tactile characteristics of the terrain are unchanged, so creatures entering the area are likely to see through the illusion. If the difference isn't obvious by touch, a creature carefully examining the illusion can attempt an intelligence investigation check against your spell save DC to disbelieve it. A creature who discerns the illusion for what it is sees it as a vague image superimposed on the terrain.
Okay, so we know that audio can't be trusted either, and the whole thing was a ruse to draw us in.
But if once we had believed the illusion, then we could sort of see what was behind it, right?
Yes. Soulmane was right in his assumption it's a cave of sorts.
Well, that's good, but it doesn't narrow it down.
Well, it's a shot in the dark, but what do I know about caves?
Shot in the dark.
They're dark.
History
check. Okay, describe it.
Investigation.
Describe the rocks.
Yeah. I mean, you guys see it right now. The illusion, or rather, scrying's about to fade. You guys can choose to teleport there, or you can choose not to. She is aware that you are coming, though. That's basically what it boils down to. I'm gonna give you guys 1 minute to make your decision.
Let's go, boys.
Okay, here's a small problem. Ogun hasn't seen through the illusion. Can I roll again? And otherwise, we're down to somebody described a place to me which doesn't have a very good chance of landing.
Well, who else could use the helmet? I mean, you're not fully attuned to it.
That'll take an
yet, are you?
hour. That'll take an hour.
I have
attuned to it because I didn't scry until the attunement was done. So if I got it, we could drop immediately.
Well, I saw her. I saw where she was, and I have teleport prepared.
Okay. Well, then we can just do it that way. Yeah. Sounds good. I'll be the exit if necessary.
Do we want to give the helmet to Elson and have him go meet with his people and start building up a defense for the rest?
If we take her out, it won't matter.
Well, there's still others.
The scrying is going to fade on the mirror.
Alright,
So,
I cast teleport.
Okay, do you want to roll the D100? Or would you like me to?
You know what? I might as well go ahead and do it.
You might want Brandon to do it.
I don't trust the GM. No, GM dice are against us.
Right.
I don't know if that's good or bad.
That's bad.
36. Let's see. You are going to... I'll tell you what.
Uh-huh.
Anthony, roll me a D12.
Ah, shit. Okay.
So
That's either really good or really bad.
that's really bad, I'm guessing.
So here's what happened. You guys are standing around this mirror, right? And you see this location that you're getting ready to teleport onto. There's talk and debate over what should be done about it. And then after a moment, the scrying starts to fade. Tobias sees that it's starting to fade and begins casting scrying. At which point it has...
Teleport.
Teleport. At which point it has faded. He selects the 8 of you, pointing to each of you, and casts the spell. It has gone from very familiar to... It is going from very familiar to seen casually on the chart. And Wesley is riding that line with that roll. And on that, I for the fate of chance, allowed you guys to adjust that in-between area with that D12. You are going to all blink out of existence, and everything becomes dark. A moment later, you are going to be behind this stone bench. On it is a woman looking down. Your feet go partially through the ground as the stone that you are standing on, the stone tower that you're standing on, is not an actual stone tower. You hear the sound of birds, but you don't feel the sea breeze that you hear. As you teleport, she turns, finger pointing towards you, and I think that's a point where we can pick up next session.
Who's about to get disintegrated?
Who prepared counterspell?
Well, hopefully she's about to get blighted. But anyways.
All right. Yeah, that's a heck of a way to end tonight. Let's see.
Cliffhangers.
Experience for tonight. I'm gonna give. So I felt really, really bad this campaign because the way things ended up going, I couldn't address Teek's personal story. And I couldn't address Soulmane's personal story either. And I told you guys that very early that just like I wouldn't be able to get to everybody. Just because you guys are from so many different parts of the world. But I am going to give Teek personal story experience for finding a reason to continue on after this. And I'm going to count that as major experience. What else significant happened tonight?
I'm going to be an elf.
Yeah, I'm actually going to give major experience for Fractus's personal story too, and I'm going to give minor experience for dropping into Elena's trap. And did anything else significant happen tonight?
I contributed to the session.
Just
yes,
maintaining people's livelihood and whatnot. Not much.
Teek found out once you go half orc, you never go back.
Oh, you know what? I'm also going to give minor experience for the banter about assassinations. I don't want to toot my own horn, but I now love that barbarian assassination, buy one, get 10 free. That is my new favorite joke for this year.
That's good. And Fractus attuned the whip and lived unprepared.
Twice. Well, unprepared,
no,
yeah.
He was prepared the second time, but unprepared the first time. That was
yes. Close. Talk to Taylor. Ronaldo's weapons have a way of unconventional attunement processes.
Yeah.
But, so tonight in total, I'm going to give 4,750 experience. And I'm also going to give inspiration to Teek, Ogun, and Tobias.
Hey.
What's the inspiration boost? I already have one.
Yeah, 50 experience.
Okay.
All right.
What was it
how
again?
Much? 4,000?
750.
4,750. And the next session is going to be on the 9th. I know that's in the middle of college stuff for lots of people, but I don't think that affects anyone here. Is everybody good to meet?
I won't be around. I'll be at a wait, no, the 9th. The 9th is okay.
Okay. We'll schedule it for the 9th. If complications arise before then, post it this week, and I am definitely free the 2nd, and I know pretty much most of the group should be able to meet the 2nd too.
Well, see, I don't know. This is kind of the busiest part of the year with me.
Yeah.
So I will. My brilliant managers sometimes don't like to post the schedule for the week until like 5 days ahead in advance.